But
Good
so what? Are we
evening,
gonna get
gentlemen.
Solo? Oh,
No, you good, big dog. No, cause I was gonna do the intro, but fuck it, man. Well, tonight y'all already know we got to start off with the big motherfucking news, man. There is a new defensive back on the market. He goes by the name of Jair Alexander. I have been saying for maybe the past year or two that he would be the perfect fit for the Washington Commodores simply because he already came from a market that, the Packers are already a popular team or whatever, but not maybe necessarily like a Dallas or Chicago, like a giant city, a big city. I feel like he'll do great in DC because of the marketability, and I think they have the finances to do it. And him across from Lattimore with Sanders still in the slot, I just think is just makes for the perfect defensive backfield.
No, I agree. I mean, being in that division, you kind of got to have some plans going on. You got CD and Pickens on one team. You got AJ Brown and Slim Reaper on the other team over there. You know what I mean? Like you got Malik Neighbors. So I
Come
mean,
on now, don't sleep on Malik Neighbors.
so the way that I've always looked at it is, and I look at it somewhat through a basketball lens of you got to do everything in your power to push everybody's role down to where it belongs. So if you got Jair and Lattimore, then Sam Strill, you're not necessarily relying on being the man already. Like, he's got time to grow. He's got time to learn. You get mentorship. We drafted Trey Amos this year, who, from all the
Mhm.
reports, has been giving Debo the blues, I guess.
Yeah, bro.
So I think I would like it because you could put Sanistril in the slot, and just make him work that way because he's small on the outside, pause. But
Yeah, for sure.
so being in that division, you need that. And the problem with Jair Alexander isn't a skill problem. The problem is a health problem. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? He's got to play. And when we have seen him play, we've seen how he's gone up against people like Justin Jefferson. So
for
so
sure.
seeing that, bring that to my team all day
let
long.
me ask you a question. Is Jair Alexander? Is he still worth big money?
No, because of the injury issues. You know what I mean? But I still think that at his best, he's a top 7, top 9-ish corner.
Okay.
For
So
sure.
so
Are
so,
you
so it's
taking
so
him,
it's the risk
or
reward.
Slay?
I would take Jair just based on youth.
For
Okay.
sure.
I no, I say that because I don't like Darius Slay. They
He's a
always
Steeler, man. I don't know, dog.
Well, Slay
That's
Slay
like
is
Joe
just
Hayden.
long in the tooth. Like I think that Jair, I don't know if Jair is as good as Slay was in his heyday, but his heyday was a long time ago.
For sure.
yeah, his name Big Play Slay, but I always tell everybody it's one play a game Slay. Like there's one play every game that we gonna get like, oh, there he is, and then he just cool.
Yeah, he gonna give it
And
up
I
as
mean,
fast as he got it.
no, absolutely. Because I just hope that this isn't another one of those Howie swoops in and makes a handshake deal, and now Jair Alexander, Quinyon Mitchell, fucking
The Eagles
Cooper DeJean.
penitentiary.
Well, they talking about putting Cooper at safety, maybe.
Hey, yo,
Yeah,
Cooper is nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper
Like
Exciting
DeJean
white.
is
I
nice,
feel
dog.
like the exciting whites are nice, man. Like I really like Reed Blankenship. I like our secondary. A lot of people in the Eagles group, they don't think that our secondary is like that, but I think that we're actually like I think our team is honestly top to bottom. I really do think, not just because we won the Super Bowl, but I really think we really have like that team right now.
No, Philadelphia is definitely the best team coming into the year. The only thing that Philadelphia has going against it is that year to year, it's hard to get back to the Super Bowl. Like sometimes we see Super Bowl teams just kind of the hangover, if you will. So like that's the only thing Philadelphia is battling right now. Like they should be like as of today, obviously, we don't know what camp looks like and injuries and whatnot. But as we sit here today, there's no reason for the Eagles to not be back in the Super Bowl.
Except for a healthy LA Ram team.
No, not even
I'm
them.
sorry. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Cubs, you better stop it right now.
Not
A
even
health,
them.
a
You
healthy
got to
LA
wake me
Ram
up.
team.
You got to
Hey,
Hey,
wake
look,
me
I
up.
was,
hey,
I'm sorry, dog.
between two games last year, Saquon ran for about 4.25 on them.
Yeah, and what did he do when it mattered the most? They still came down to one play away.
Hey, and what happened?
I'm
That
taking my chances
defense.
again. That was
That
still a
defense.
depleted team.
Yes, and Stafford is another year older.
That is
He
true.
is.
You know what I mean?
And look, go ahead.
They still need work in the secondary.
This is true.
So you know what I mean? Like, yes,
Hold on, they got Cam Curl.
Oh, they do got Cam Curl. That's my guy. No, they do match it. So when you're looking at it just from straight up talent at the positions that air quotes matter,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They got what? Probably a top 5 running back,
Mhm.
maybe even a little bit better than that.
I fuck with Kyrie
Yeah, they got Puka.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean? They need some help
Vontae.
now. They need some other help out there at receiver, but but then the defense, you got to remember, Braden Fisk and Jarrett Verse were just rookies last year.
Yes, sir.
And they got Kobe Turner, who was only in year 2. So
Mhm.
so when I look at the Rams, they're definitely a team to be reckoned with.
So,
I don't know if they're the direct threat to the Eagles though, like because there's a couple of other teams that, like I think that no homer, but I think Washington, the
for
defense
sure.
should be a little bit better. You
For
know what I mean?
sure.
As long as Jaden doesn't suffer from the sophomore slump, the defense will be a little bit better, I believe. I think you always got to give the 49ers a fighting chance. Like they might not be on your radar as far as like, hey, this team is the team to beat, but just off of experience and talent, they're always a part of the conversation as well.
For sure. So, a quick question: if the Commanders go 9-8 and happen to miss the playoffs, would you call it a sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels?
No, I think it just depends on how it looks. You know what I mean? Because we always talk about it. It's a team game, so you
Mhm.
know what I mean. So if the defense is giving up 28 points a game, that might happen.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like with CJ Stroud, he went through the slump last year, but a lot of that was his offensive line just not being able to protect him.
Yeah. I definitely feel you. And then shit, they just signed Nick Chubb, man. If Nick Chubb is even half of what he was coming back from injury, he's a crazy number 2 option.
Right. Who might be the number 1 if he can stay healthy.
You feel me? He might start over Joe Mixon if he's really back. Like if he's back to Cleveland form, there's no reason why he shouldn't start over Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
And
because
Joe
remember,
Mixon is
Joe
a
Mixon missed
good
half
running
of
back.
last year.
Yeah, bro. So wow. I mean, yeah, Houston with that kind of running game could be crazy, especially in the AFC South. I mean, we definitely gonna have to see how that look. But speaking of the AFC South, man, well, no, I actually want to go back to Washington. So with all the news right now swirling around Scary Terry, what is actually going on with that? What like why is Scary Terry now being on a trading block? And if he is on a trading block, what would you like to receive for him? Capital or players who could play right now?
He want to get paid. I don't want him on the
Didn't
trading
y'all
block.
just pay him though?
I don't. Hey, look, the cost of the brick. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like,
how about you know
No, I feel
niggas
you
get
though. It go up
niggas
every
get
year.
greedy.
yeah, the cost of the brick, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't want what I don't want, and I know this may sound sacrilege to some people, but I don't want Brandon Ayuk. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, nah, he's trash.
I didn't want Brandon Ayuk then, and I don't want Brandon Ayuk now. You know what I mean? But so yeah, Scary Terry right now is on a 3-year, $68 million deal. And this is the last year of that deal. So he's
Okay.
looking for an extension. So he's kind of having the TJ Watt conversation where that conversation kind of died down around the draft. That was all, the Steelers, what are they going to do? Are they going to have to trade him? But we haven't heard anything about it since. I don't like it, just because of where we are within the calendar.
Yeah.
Like it's time to focus and start getting ready to lock in. So I don't know if the plan is let him play out this year and then add Ayuk, after the fact since Jaden was his college quarterback. But
Right.
as far as compensation goes, you know what I'm saying? Give me a third and a fourth. Give me a third and a fourth. You know what I mean? But it also doesn't help that, like I said earlier, we got these reports of Trey Amos, locking down Debo. So you gotta do something.
I definitely feel you, dog. Because it's like, I mean, we know Scary Terry is a number one option. We know Scary Terry is a number one wide receiver. So it's like,
I feel like we also know he's not going nowhere.
He better not.
I don't think he is either. I mean, we know they're fielding phone calls, and I feel like they're gonna have to be blown away. You say a 3 or a 4, I feel like they won't move for a 3 or a
No,
2.
I said a 3 and a 4.
Yeah, I still feel like they don't move for anything less than a late 2,
Well, the
early
problem
3.
is that when you look at the market, because the market determines all this. When you look at somebody like, say, Devontae Adams,
Yeah.
who's probably considered a better receiver than Terry McLaurin is, went for a 5th rounder. So it's kind of but there was also some lack of leverage at play there because he wanted to leave the Raiders. He made a big stink about it, and everybody knew it. So they probably could have got more, but he was just running his mouth.
I definitely feel you, man. Like I said, bro, I still feel like Devontae Adams still has some really good seasons, especially with Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell beside him. I feel like, honestly, I mean, I don't think he's
Forgot.
played with an offense this good. I don't think he's played with an offense this good since Green
Ever.
Bay.
No, ever.
Yeah, ever.
Because Green Bay was the offense is only firing Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers made Valdez Scantling sound like he was a good receiver when he really wasn't. You know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
mean, this is real though.
They've never really had a dope running back for real. You know what I mean? Like they had good running backs, but I wouldn't say dope.
And he
Because you got to
definitely
think
didn't have a Puka on the other side.
Amon Jones only ran hard if you had a 1-star on your team and played in Dallas. So other
And
than
he
that,
definitely didn't have Sean McVay. So this is just, yeah, it's very interesting. I definitely want to see what the LA Rams is gonna do, bro.
Lil
And
Kim is on the BT Awards, by the way. I'm pissed.
man, shout out to Lil Kim.
Yeah.
So
but yeah,
2-5 did y'all?
I was gonna say Devontae Adams. I think he's gonna have a resurgence year. Like this season, I think everybody's gonna be put on notice. Like, oh shit, we
Yeah, for
forgot
sure.
about
That's
this.
what I said, bro. Hell yeah. Do you think that the wide receiver core in Tampa, they got Emeka Egbuka and Jalen McMillan?
Chris Evans gets hurt
and
too much. Or is that his name?
And then Mike
Chris
Evans
Godwin.
coming back. Chris Godwin is hurt.
Yeah,
I don't know how he's definitely gonna miss some time. I don't know if he's gonna miss the whole year, but because he got hurt in the playoffs, so it might be a while before it. But
Well,
you know what I'm saying, just because of when he got hurt.
I feel like he gets hurt too much for them to be the dominant duo that their names say they are. You know what I mean?
So I still feel like their offense is gonna be straight though. I still feel like their offense is gonna be straight. Baker Mayfield, they got bro. Egbuka is going to be so tough. I feel like Egbuka might win Rookie of the Year.
Hey, and don't forget, Trey Palmer
Over Genty.
Trey Palmer started coming into his own. They also got
Yes, sir.
Tez Johnson in the draft.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely,
last year was the first time that they had the type of running game that they had since Doug Martin.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bucky Irving. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, dog.
My guy, yeah.
Didn't they draft another running back this year?
Yeah, well, they drafted. I know last year they added. They had Bucky and Sean Tucker, who ran for like 140 in a game that Bucky didn't play.
Yeah.
So Bucky ran for 1122. Like I said, that was the first 1,000-yard rusher they had. Since Doug Martin. So so Tampa. That's one of the last things the league wants is for Tampa to get balance.
Yeah, for sure. Because they still pack a defense. You know what I'm saying?
And
it really depends. Yeah. It depends on what Liam Cohen is all about, man. I mean, not Liam Cohen. He's in Duval. So yeah, no, who's their OC now?
Let's see here. But you know, they're coming for blood this year. You know, like they should win their division.
Yeah, I
Like
definitely like. Yeah, I like them.
unless Penix just their offensive coordinator is Josh Grizzard.
Oh my God, who is this guy? Another year for Baker Mayfield to have an offensive coordinator that he didn't have last year, or that we have no
Well, well,
idea who this person
well,
is.
he was the passing game coordinator last year for them.
Oh, so he was still in the
So,
building.
yeah,
Okay.
so he was still in the building, so Baker should be somewhat familiar with him. You know what I mean? But I think
Okay.
that, like I said, unless Michael Penix is just, like what we thought Bryce Young was going to be,
Yeah.
Tampa should have a stranglehold on that division, and of course, you got Carolina trying to creep through the back door.
Even if Penix doesn't pan out, well, no, hypothetically, if Penix doesn't pan out, do we still say that Atlanta made a mistake by taking a quarterback in the first round while having Kirk Cousins on the roster? Knowing what we know now about Kirk Cousins.
No, because I think that regardless, this was probably going to be Kirk Cousins last year anyway. Because they signed him to that 3-year deal, but they could get out after year 2. So even if Kirk Cousins was still the quarterback right now, I don't think he would be the quarterback next year. So you got to get the rebuild, or I don't want to call it a rebuild per se, but you got to get the future started at some point. You know what I mean? And now, last year you got a couple of games of Penix to kind of get his feet wet, if you will. Let him get some game speed. So now you're coming into this season from the standpoint of you at least saw live action, versus being on the bench the whole season. You saw some live action, and let's see what you got. And I don't think this year is make or break. I don't think anybody's looking at Atlanta as they're a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. So they got room, you know what I mean? If they can go, I'll call it 9-8, maybe 8-9, but like some really close losses, I think you got to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I'm not saying that they like the division is like that, like the AFC West or anything like that, but they still playing the tough division. I mean, Carolina is definitely going to be a tough out if they play like anything they did down the stretch last season. I mean,
Yeah.
they still got continuity with the coaching staff. Canella's coming back. I think they returning their coordinators. You know what I'm saying? JC Horn coming back. They added Ted McMillan. So I mean, I
And
don't see them.
don't forget, not just Tet, they got Joe Horn too, or Jimmy Horn.
Jimmy Horn. You know what I'm saying? Still got old man Thielen, fresh off a 1,000-yard season. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see what he still got in the tank. So it's just, yeah, I can dig that.
Mhm.
And then who else is in the South? They got the
The
Saints. Oh yeah,
Saints, yeah,
there's.
forget about the Saints. They're out. We're not
I don't
worried
even
about
want to talk
them
about.
right
Oh
now.
yeah, I don't even want to talk about the Saints. But I do want to talk about the Packers. I've said this. I've said that I feel like the Packers were going to take a slide in the AFC North. I feel like they might finish last, and I think they will, especially if Jair Alexander lead. Well, he already left. I don't think that they have enough experience in the wide receiver room. I don't think Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I think Jordan Love is the caliber of quarterback that not like stylistically, but I'm just talking about like his impact on the game. I don't think that Jordan Love can will his team to a victory. I think if he plays well and the team around him plays well, the team can do good. But I don't think that Jordan Love can go out there and make the necessary plays on his own, especially with the youth that he has at wide receiver. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think I think the inexperience he has at wide receiver prevents him from doing a lot that he would like to do on that team. So I feel like, especially Matt LaFleur, I don't think that he is X factor material at coach. So I think that they're going to take a step backwards this
Right.
season.
Well. I think that there's a couple of other things at play too. Like, what's their locker room like? Remember when the season ended, Aaron Jones was making those tweets about, "Yo, we need a number one wide receiver,"
For
and
sure.
some of those guys got offended by that. And Romeo Dubes already had whatever issues he had last year with the suspension and everything. So now you're bringing Matthew Golden in there, who all the draft guys fell in love with, and he's supposed to be the leader now. So is there some locker room tension that might spill over at some point? That would be my concern about them. But I think that Detroit's going to take a step back just due to lack of coaching that they have now. I think that Chicago has the talent, but we got to see the execution as well. But they got the right, well, I ain't going to say they got the right head coach, but they got a guy that you would like to see with a young quarterback.
Better than who the fuck they've had, bro.
Better
Who
than
their
who
last
they've
two
had.
coaches?
They had
Eberflus
Eberflus and
and Nagy.
Nagy. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
So from that standpoint, you got to feel good if you're the Chicago Bears. Maybe you want to go get another running back. I know that they were in the Nick Chubb sweepstakes as well. So maybe you try to see what's out there. Like, I've been saying all offseason that if I was the Chicago Bears, I might be trying to call Orchard Park, and see what I can do for James Cook. Like, hey, I can't give you 20. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But I might be able to get you like 17 though. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean,
17. I keep them clean though.
you don't like DeAndre Swift? DeAndre Swift still in Chicago?
Yeah, I like DeAndre Swift, but I think you still need something else.
For sure.
I like Roshan Johnson.
From Texas.
But they don't give him enough touches. You know what I mean, for my liking. So maybe that'll change this year. But for the time being, I just don't think he touches the ball enough. But the Bears also, remember, they went and got Luther Burden. You know what I mean? And a lot, and I like Kyle Monangai that they got from Rutgers, but at running back, but I don't know if he's anything more than Roshan Johnson. So you already got one of those.
I mean, I think Caleb Williams is going to take that next step this year. I think we're going to see everything that
he has to. Like, he has to, because I mean, everything considered, you know what I'm saying? He had a decent year last year. Like, so, and this is the thing, right? I've seen people make all the excuses in the world for Justin Fields and like what Justin Fields didn't have, what he needed, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But we've also seen multiple years of Justin Fields. And regardless of what he had, regardless of how it looked, I don't know if he ever got demonstrably better from year to year. You know what I mean?
sure.
So when I look at Caleb Williams as a rookie, you know what I mean? It's kind of like we saw the flashes. You know what I mean? And you got something that you have the young receiver to go with him, Roma Dunze. And now with Keenan Allen out of there, saying there's more touches for him. Then you went and got Luther Burden. So, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit up here and say, hey, I want to see 4,000 yards from Caleb. I would, because the Bears never done it. But you know what I'm saying? But if I could get 3,800, call it 27 touchdowns and 12 picks, I think that's a good progression.
For sure. I mean, like you said, man, we got Ben Johnson in there. I just feel like I feel like the creativity that he brings to offense, especially with the kind of ability that Caleb Williams has. Like, Caleb Williams really has remarkable quarterback ability. And like you said, bro, we've seen several seasons of Justin Fields, and just off this one season from Caleb Williams, I've seen throws where he's like, bro, they got something here.
Mm-hmm.
They got something. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just up to Ben Johnson to put that shit together. And speaking of putting it together, before I ask you this last question, I definitely want to say shout out to JJ McCarthy. I've seen all the videos from camp. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's poised for a big year. A lot of people not talk about this, Joe. feel like Kevin O'Connell, he got him one, and he know what to do with that job.
Yeah, JJ is a talented quarterback. I think that he was just a victim of the offensive system that he played in, because there wasn't a big reliance on the passing game. It was more old school, smash mouth, let's overpower you. So I think people have this thought that he's a game manager, or he's the kind of guy that, like a Ryan Tannehill type, like don't mess it up for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
JJ McCarthy is a talented dude. Like, regardless of what they were running, he's a winner. I think he lost 2 games the whole time he was at
Yeah.
Michigan or something along those lines. So, and one of them was to Georgia. Like,
Yeah.
I,
And
like,
other ones at TCU.
and that's what I I don't like to judge people by their worst moments. You know what I mean? Like, I like to tell the whole story. And I think, you got to go back to that Alabama game in the playoffs when the year that Michigan won the national title. I don't know if they win that game with any other quarterback that they've had, over the last 5 years or so. Like, they don't win that game with Davis Warren.
Shea Patterson.
You know what I'm saying? They don't win that game with I can't even remember my guy's name right now. He went to Iowa after
McNamara.
Yeah, they won't. They don't win that game with Cade McNamara. Like, he made the plays. He made the plays that won that game. And I know people like Mr. Logical be out here talking about, like, I've never seen him really make the plays, and I never seen him do this. And I'm like, yeah, you might not have never seen him lead a game-winning drive in that Sheriff Tom Brady kind of way, but you definitely saw him make plays to keep that game alive.
For sure. Absolutely. My dog El Residente, San Jose, live in the motherfucking building. What's going on, my dog?
Y'all know what it is, man. Life, man. I'm just out here and just surviving on loving food stamps, man. You know what I mean?
I feel you, brother. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So,
Minus the
Tufan,
food
what I was
stamps.
going my bad. Minus the food stamps.
Minus the food
All right,
stamps.
Tufan, here we go, dog. Who do you think is going to be top 5 in receiving yards this NFL season?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I guess you go Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Maybe you go. That's tough, man.
How's he performing in OTAs is the question.
Yeah, that is the question. That is definitely the question.
It's got to be the question, yo.
Maybe you get an outlier, like a newbie on the scene, like a the name is slipping me right now. Your guy from Michigan that played for the Texans.
Oh, Nico Collins?
Yeah, Nico Collins. Maybe somebody like that sneaks up
For
in
sure.
there. Malik Neighbors, I think, is going to be force-fed a lot.
I think Malik, Malik.
Yeah,
Neighbors.
He's going to get a lot of touches, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to him to catch them, obviously. I think, depending on how it looks, I could see somebody like Amon-Ra St. Brown getting some touches.
Mm-hmm.
I could see somebody along those lines. I would like to think that if Aaron Rodgers could look anything the part, maybe DK gets into that conversation, but I just don't know because of the team that they play for and the way that they, their style of football might not lend itself to put him in that conversation. I would like to think that another outlier, I would like to see what Rome Odunze can do with Ben Johnson. I would like to see that, and see how that plays out. I don't know if you'll see CeeDee Lamb, get that high, because I think that Pickens is going to throw the fit when he doesn't get the ball. So I think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Dallas doesn't always, they're not known for having the best locker rooms and the, like the quiet locker room, if you will. So,
right. I feel you.
So I think those are some names to start with. Mike Evans might be slowing down because he got 1,000 on his last play of the season last year.
Yeah, the
Saying
very last play.
maybe we see the cheetah make a comeback.
Depends on who their quarterback is, man. If Tua can stay
Yeah,
healthy, then yeah, we might be able to see something go down like that.
yeah. So
Um,
I think those are some good names to pull from. I like I like if Trevor Lawrence can stay healthy. I
mm,
like Brian
Yeah, I
Thomas as
did.
well.
Brian Thomas. Yeah.
mm. My if I had to guess, obviously I would say Jettas and Chase, barring injury from their quarterback. Um, Jettas and Chase. I'm sorry, dog. I think Devontae Adams could creep into that top five receiving yards.
Top five. Top five. Top five.
Um,
See, I wanted to bring him up too, but with Puka there, I think that's kind of tough.
Mm,
I get that. Um, didn't Puka make the Super Bowl his rookie year?
no,
No, I don't think he was there that year.
no, Puka wasn't there that year.
Yeah, he came. He came the next year.
He might have came 2 years later. It might have been
Yeah,
21.
yeah, because they had Odell and Cooper Cup.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Um, yeah. So Jettas, Chase, Adams. Um, I like Neighbors being a stat pattern. Like I like Russell Wilson just dropping back and just looking for him.
Hmm.
Like, and I feel like Dayball gonna throw that jump. I feel like kind of like what you were saying about how Pittsburgh offense operates. I feel like if the Giants let him throw the football, or if Jackson Dart comes in there, it's definitely gonna be a different jump. It's definitely gonna be a different ball club. But either way, all three of their quarterbacks on the roster is quarterbacks that's known for throwing the football and not being modest with that jump. So
Yeah, Rez
I feel
said
like
that
Malik.
Ayuk can't get in there.
Nah, I don't know about you being top five. Even though he did, I think he was top five. Well, last year or the season before he got hurt,
Yeah, the season before he got hurt. Yeah. I mean, you don't
he
got
was tough that
Debo
year.
there, so unless what I'm saying, unless Bulletproof about to come through.
Yeah, I feel you.
Right. Ayuk's not
And
playing until week 4. Week 4 at the earliest, dog.
True, that's
He's still
true
coming back
too.
from the injury. It's gonna be Juwan's gonna be number one receiver this year.
Third and
Juwan's
Jawan.
gonna Juwan's gonna get over 1,000.
I still can't believe that Tennessee hasn't beat Georgia since he caught that Hail Mary.
With the man.
hmm,
No, this is gonna be
And
his
I
best
think Josh Dobbs
total.
was the quarterback.
Yeah, it was. This is gonna be his best year as a pro. When you talk his yards, touchdowns, I think everything's up for him this year. We finally get to see him in the number one role, and then Ayuk's gonna come back and mess up all the chemistry. It's gonna be crazy. Um, I'm just so out on that kid. Like I honestly want him gone. Like I don't want him on the team.
and spoiler
that's
alert,
tough.
I don't.
Tennessee ain't beating Georgia this year either.
No, they're
And for
not.
my just really quick for my number five spot, another outlier. I'm gonna round it off with the guy who we traded back from so that we could trade Jalen Pope. Lad McConkey is gonna be top five in receiving yards this year.
But see, that's another one of those teams that I don't know if Harbaugh allows that to happen.
He was tough
Just
last year though. I feel you though.
no, I know, but Harbaugh, especially, they went out and got a Marion Hampton in the first round too. So I
hmm
think, and they went and got Najee
And
Harris.
Najee Harris, yeah.
So yeah, they're going to emphasize the running game for sure, and I think McConkey's going to be all reliable. So so he'll get some
hmm
yards and everything, but I don't know if
Yeah,
he'll get the volume, to
for sure.
be a top 5 receiver.
I feel you though. I feel you.
Speaking of volume, what do we got to do to make Tyrese Halliburton take 15 shots before the fourth quarter?
Make him somebody else.
Man, shout out to the lethal bag, dog.
Why?
He said, "Why?" Shout out to the lethal
Superstar
bag,
Halley.
dog. Bro,
So
Superstar
this
Halley,
is what I'll
bro.
say. This is what I'll say. If somebody wasn't a superstar coming into the playoffs, they're not a superstar because of the playoffs. That's not something that happens in one year. And I keep wanting to emphasize this, and I don't know why I feel the need to do it. Because like usually I just let people be stupid when they want to be stupid. Sorry for lack of a better term. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've been kind of ornery today.
Yeah, I've been mad honorary today.
No, yeah, I'm not even mad abrasive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but dead serious though, like LeBron was a superstar coming into the NBA because by the time he got to the NBA, he'd already been on Sports Illustrated how many times?
Yeah, at least 5.
He already had commercials before he stepped foot on the NBA. As soon as he decided he wanted to go to the NBA, he was able to sign a contract. He was like, as soon as it was possible for him to sign a deal with Nike, a max deal with Nike, he signed a max deal with Nike before he had an NBA contract. That's what a superstar is. A superstar isn't somebody who's a very talented person. There are mad talented NBA players that are not superstars. And that's the same thing with basketball, same thing with football, same thing in baseball, same thing in hockey. How many hockey superstars are there? Superstars.
2?
Maybe 2.
Maybe Sidney Crosby, maybe Ovechkin. I mean, people might know Connor McDavid, but I don't know if he's a star.
Right.
Is Bryce Harper a superstar?
We know his name, and we don't follow baseball.
I think that he was being set up for superstardom at one point. I don't know. Like, casuals still know who he is, but not because he's just killing the game too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's tough. But that's why, like, for me, I roll of the rule of thumb that there can only be a certain number of a certain thing. You know what I mean? Because then you start devaluing things. Like everybody can't be a great player. Like there's a select number of great players. There's some dudes that are really, really, really good. There are some dudes that are right on the doorstep of being great. You know what I mean? But I think by calling some of these people great, like, so I'll give you an example, Cups, and don't be talking no shit. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like Jalen Brunson, right? I think is on, he's right on that doorstep of, I need you to take one more leap that I don't know if he's capable of.
So,
you know what I mean?
I definitely
can't necessarily call him great. And when people were talking about like, hey, they got to trade Cat, my takeaway was, no, you might need to, trade the dude that got to jump up to hit Cat in the knee.
The shorter player for sure.
Yeah, the NBA has gone away from these little dudes.
You know what I mean? Especially one who's not going to facilitate.
I think that Jalen Brunson is probably better overall than Cat, but I don't think it's like super margins there. I think they're neck and neck, because you remember all year I was talking about like, hey, Cat might get MVP votes this year.
For sure.
I don't know if he did or didn't though.
I mean, he was top 10 in the running.
I'm about to look at it right now, but that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody can't be great because then we lose what, like back in the day, like people talk about, well, Mitch Richmond was underrated. He absolutely was.
Yeah,
was
that
he
great?
Great?
A superstar,
right? All right, let's see.
Like people like, yo, random player had a great game. He's a superstar. No, he's not.
So Cat did not get an MVP vote.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson got a vote.
Jeff Teague scored 50 in an NBA game once.
Brandon Jennings scored 55 in an NBA game once.
Are they superstars? No.
Shout out to BJ.
Like, that's the thing I always push back on. And that's also why I made the point that if you're not a quarterback, it's really hard to be a superstar in the NFL. Because the quarterbacks are often the most recognizable players on the team.
Yeah.
There are some really great NFL players, that if they walk through my neighborhood, I wouldn't know who they are.
If,
And I
if
follow
people,
the game.
if people don't know Trevor Lawrence's name, they know the hair.
Right. And everybody in Jacksonville knows Trevor Lawrence.
Is he a superstar though?
In
If he was
In
still at
Jacksonville?
Clemson, he would be. You know what I mean? But I can't say at this point right now that he is.
Yeah.
But you know, but that's and that's kind of the thing, because we're in this thing, we're in this era where if I don't agree with you, I'm a hater, or you know, you don't watch the games, and like, you know, all this kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, no, maybe you don't watch the games, because Halliburton in game 1 had like 9 shots going into the fourth quarter. Last night he had like 7. So like,
He had
maybe
14
you don't
points
watch
the
the
entire game 1.
You know what I mean? And I brought it up like when I was doing my finals preview, like against OKC this year, in the 2 games that they played, he only averaged 11.5 points. You know what I mean? And Chet didn't play either one of those games. So it wasn't like you had
they still adding guys.
Right, but it wasn't like you had this dude down low that deterred you from going to the paint. He wasn't even there. You know, so
shout out
I
to
mean,
Halliburton, man.
I don't
like
want to be that guy.
It's real good with bus.
I don't want to be that guy, because you know, y'all know I love the Pacers, but this series is over, man.
Hey, bro.
You think so? You don't think the Pacers get another one?
No, I think they can get another one. They might even get the next one. You know what I'm saying?
I think they lose the next one by 25.
Well, like
you want to put that in the ledger, my good man.
Where's the ledger?
See, for me, this is the thing. So after game 1, right, Hallie hit the shot. Him and Siakam were in the tunnel or whatever talking about, and we ain't even play well. And then they played even worse last night. You know what I mean? But then when you look at it, you got that old NBA, you know, let's just get 1 on the road. Okay, cool. But my motto is, if you got 1, you could get 2. You know what I'm saying? But also, in addition to that, in game 1, you led literally off of the Halliburton shot. That was the first time they took the lead in that game.
Yeah.
With 0.3 seconds left.
Yeah.
And then you were down 20. And then you were down 20 most of last night. So at the very least, and I don't want to be hyperbolic, but you better win both of the games in Indiana, because I don't know if you're winning another one in OKC.
You need to win both of the games in Indiana, and you need to win both of the games in Indiana in a very convincing fashion.
Yeah,
you need to win at least one of the games in very convincing fashion.
Yeah, because I mean, Shea is averaging 36 right now. I mean, in the regular season against them, he averaged 38, 9, and 7. So he's not too far off of that. You know what I mean? And the thing about OKC, that the advantage that they have that Indiana doesn't, is that Indiana definitely needs someone to come along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that SGA can win this series by itself. I'm not trying to say that at all.
No,
but what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, it could be Caruso, it could be J-Dub tonight, it could be Holmgren. Indiana has a very specific formula that they need to stick to. So, you know what I'm saying? So let me try to impress Residente real quick.
Do it.
So you know, so I was listening to Joe Budden, right?
Got to.
And you know, back when him and Saigon were dissing each other.
Right.
You know, and Saigon called himself the Yard Father. So
right.
Joe Budden
Okay.
said,
oh boy,
how are you the Yard Father when I dictate where the graves go? You know what I'm saying? So with OKC, like with Indiana plays their style. They move the ball around. They do all this, but OKC is dictating to them when and how they get the ball to how they, you know, to who they get the ball to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not free flowing as, oh, there's Turner in the corner. Boom. Let me hit Mathurin up top. Let me do. No, it's like literally you got to throw the ball where OKC is allowing you to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are in this series, and that's why I don't.
I mean, the OKC was the number 1 ranked defense, weren't they?
Yep. And the Pacers defense wasn't chopped liver either. You know what I mean? But they just don't have anybody like with Jalen Brunson. on a good day, Jalen Brunson might do some yoga and get the 5'11". You know what I'm saying? So they could push people, they could push him around, push him to certain spots and make him work. You can't do that with SGA.
Not at
He's
all.
already 6'6", 6'7", and most of the time you got Nimhard on him who is smaller than him.
Right.
And then, if you try to switch, anybody else you put on him ain't going to be quick enough.
Right.
Close.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, 30. I mean, most points in a finals debut since Allen Iverson in his first 2 games.
He's ready, dog.
Yeah, he's ready. Like SGA is the future of the league that nobody wants.
Because he's Canadian.
Wow.
Well, no, not because of that, but just the whole free throw merchant thing.
But see, that's the thing. When you watch, like, I'm watching these games, I don't see any shots that he's like any free throws that he's getting that he doesn't earn, that he don't deserve. It's not like I never like, oh my gosh, he's not doing what James Harden was doing.
I don't know. You might have to go back to that Minnesota series.
Okay, I'm just saying in this series here, it ain't that.
Yeah, he was doing it all, man. Like, I do think that it's overstated. But I do think that there's validity to it, but I do think it's overstated because I don't think that people were complaining when Jordan was shooting 15 free throws, or I don't think people were complaining. Like, you look at somebody like Kevin Durant, who is a mid-range dude. Most of his career, he shot 9-10 free throws a game.
Yeah.
It's like, how? He's shooting jumpers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that the Pacers, this is the series that exposes you don't have a guy that can just go out there and, as Mr. Logical would say, you don't have a backpack guy that can say, jump in here and I got you.
Backpack.
Because even if Siakam, is that guy, he can't do it consistently enough. Like, I don't think that you can tell Siakam, I need 4 quarters of basketball from you. Logical always tells the story about, I guess, Carmelo talking to Michael Jordan, like, hey, I want to average 20 or 28 points or whatever it was. And he was like, well, yeah, you just need 7 points per quarter. Like, I don't think you're telling Siakam, go get me 7 points per quarter. You're just like, make what you can.
Right.
Like, shoot a lot of shots, make what you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this series is over. Even if it goes 7. Even if it goes 7, I just don't see
a lot of shots. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I have a list.
I can hear you.
Basketball players? Just randomly?
Just zero dark 30 on us.
Just a random list of basketball players that you gotta have it in your pocket?
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, basketball list. Most NBA games with at least 35 field goal attempts.
Jesus.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
Number 1 and number 2 with 31 games. MJ with 31 games and Kobe with 30.
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson, number 3.
Bernard King.
Ooh.
Okay, Bernard King, number 11 with 5 games.
I was going to say Wilt, but I don't know how far the list goes back.
This is 25 people on this list. There are some older players.
So Elgin Baylor
is not on this list.
Wow. No Wilt, though?
No Wilt.
Okay.
Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert Arenas is not on this list.
Right,
what?
So 35 shots.
Shaquille O'Neal.
is not on this list.
LeBron.
LeBron James, number 18 with 4 games.
Yeah. If you get down to 4, then absolutely he's
Is-
on that list.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade is not on this list.
James
I figured
Harden.
he wasn't. Oh, that's a good one.
James Harden is number 7 on this list with 7 games.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is number 5 on this list with 8 games.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is not on this list.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, number 15 with 4 games.
Yeah, he's a chucker, bro.
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is number 25 on this list with 2 games.
Vince Carter.
Is not on this list, but in those games, Jason Tatum, it doesn't say averages, but he had 100 points on. Oh, it does say how much on 52.7%. Both of those games.
I love that you needed to give us further context for the Jason Tatum stuff.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I just want to throw that out
Me
there.
too. I too am just saying.
I just wanted to, just in case y'all was wondering, though, I'm sure y'all were
We weren't.
wondering. You know what I'm
We
saying?
weren't.
I'm sure you was. I'm
We
sure
weren't.
there was burning in the back of your mind. You was like, oh, I wonder
We're
what his
not.
percentage was.
Not
I
at
wonder
all.
what his percentage. I wonder what his
I was
percentage
wondering
was.
the same thing I wondered when we said every other name that we said.
Who's
on the list.
the next one?
Is the Greek Freak on there?
I don't think he's on that list. I'd be shocked if he's on that list.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is number 20 on this list with 3 games.
That is shocking.
How
Dame Lillard.
about
Damian Lillard is not on this list.
What?
how about the first ballot Hall of Famer, cousin
Chauncey
of Vince
Billups?
Carter?
Oh,
The cousin of Vince
Who did you say?
T-Mac.
T-Mac.
Tracy McGrady is number 6 on this list with 8 games.
Mm.
All right, let's see how old Cups is real quick. How about the human highlight reel?
Mm.
I don't know who
Close
that
enough.
is.
See, I was about to say we're gonna see how old Cups is. Would that be Dominique Wilkins?
Dominique Wilkins, number 4 on this list with 11 games.
I was gonna say Dominique. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh man, now we get into the weeds.
I'm trying to find the balance.
Paul
between-
Pierce.
Is not on this list.
I'm trying to find the balance between older and younger.
Larry Bird.
Yep, that's a good one.
Larry Bird, number 19 on this list with 4 games.
All right, let's see if Cups is a little bit older than we think. What about the Dream?
The Dream. Shotty
Hakeem
of the team.
Olajuwon, number 9 on this list with 5 games.
How about
So-
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Is not on this list.
So if Hakeem's on there, is there a David Robinson?
The
There
sheriff
at least
is
one.
not. The
You got at least
admiral.
one.
I'm sorry. The admiral is not on this
The
list.
sheriff.
He got at least one because that
That
one
was my
he was
fault.
trying to win a scoring title and he put up 71. He took over 35 shots in that game. The sheriff.
That was my fault.
Oh, shit.
The sheriff is hysterical.
Yo, you killing me right now, man. You killing me.
I'm sorry.
All right, I'm gonna pull one. I'm gonna pull one from out of left field. How about the guy that should have won MVP this year?
Nikolai Jokic, number 13 on this list with 4 games.
All right.
There's another Denver Nugget on this list, but he's a vintage
South Carolina's own.
Alex.
Yeah,
Alex
got the
English?
jersey over there. Yeah.
South Carolina's own. Throw him up.
Alex English, number 12 on this list with 5 games.
Is Charles Barkley on there?
Charles Barkley is not on this list.
Well, Scotty too
But
hotty.
but one of my favorites is on this list, and it's not the short one.
What?
Not the short one.
Kevin Garnett?
No, current players.
Oh, okay. And not the short one.
Oh, not Trey. Sounded funny that you call your guy
The
the short
main one y'all say that always take the too many shots.
I said Donovan Mitchell already.
Is that my guy?
Paul George?
That's your guy. That's your guy.
He's never been my guy.
Who's
He's a
Cup's
podcaster.
guy?
He takes too many shots. We already said Jason Tatum.
Nope.
It's not a short dude?
Nope.
I don't know then.
He plays now.
He plays now.
But I think there's an obvious name that we probably haven't said yet.
There is, and it's not Cups' guy. Whoever this
And
random.
he won a
circulates.
national title as a freshman at Syracuse University.
Carmelo Anthony.
Is number 17 on this list with 4 games.
Hold on. Who does Cups like? It
He
ain't
likes to
Anthony
bump.
Edwards.
It's Jason
If I
Tatum.
tell you the position, it's gonna give it away.
It ain't Anthony Edwards, is it?
He plays the point.
LaMelo?
Is number 24 on this list with 2 games.
That's crazy. He's already.
LaMelo Ball?
Was that the person you were talking about?
And in those 2 games,
No
he
one
shot
cares.
he shot 38 from the floor.
38%?
Congrats.
Are you saying he shot 38% with 35 shots? You need a new guy, Cups.
Yeah, you're trash.
Let's go with the brow.
Anthony Davis is
Wow.
not on this list.
Brown would never get up 35 shots in a game. He would die.
Well, I figured like he was in New Orleans, before. All right, what about
He'd be in a post-game press conference like, "You see how many shots I had to shoot? How many shots I had to shoot? I'm so tired from shooting shots."
this one is for Cowboy Mike.
I hate that guy.
What about Patrick Ewing?
Is number 10 on this list with 5 games.
Because we were having an argument about how the Knicks committed malpractice by not ever really putting a good team around Patrick Ewing. And he's all like, he had Charles Oakley. And I'm like, oh, word, that's what we doing?
Word.
Like they had Anthony Mason guarding Jordan at times.
Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get all the way out of here.
Okay, 2-5. Shout out to the Wizards, number 22 on this list with 3 games.
Black Brad.
Oh yeah, well, I mean Bradley Bill's number 8 on this list with 6 games. I'm sorry, but there is another Wizard.
The Wizard of Oz.
I'm weak.
It's not John Wall.
No.
Is it Antoine Jameson?
Antoine Jameson with 3 games.
Have y'all seen the clip of Antoine Jameson talking about how he hated when that he played with Michael Jordan?
No, but I saw Stackhouse talking about it.
That was Stackhouse. That's what I'm
Stackhouse
talking
on this
about.
list?
Stackhouse. It was Stackhouse. Yeah.
Stackhouse is not on this list.
Okay.
Of course not, because Michael Jordan over there hogging up all the shots.
Yeah, because I thought Stackhouse would have definitely been on this list. He's like
There
I
are
think
2
he's got a
Warrior
50-point
guards on
game,
this list.
doesn't he?
Oh, Stephen Curry.
Steph Curry with 4 games, number 14 on this list. There is another Warrior guard.
Would Clay be on the list?
Clay is not on the list.
Steph be taking 35 shots.
So then Monte Ellis.
Monte Ellis, number 21 on this list with 3 games.
What about
What numbers do we have left?
Drew? That's my uncle. What about the Drew? That's my uncle.
Kyrie is not on this list. As far as people that we haven't said, we've already said MJ, Kobe, Iverson, Dominique, Westbrook, McGrady, Harden, Bradley Beal, Elijah Wan, Patrick Ewing, Bernard King, Alex English, Jokic, Curry, Mitchell. So that's as far as who we haven't said 1, 2 names.
2.
Yep.
All right, you gotta give us some hints now, dog. It's hint time.
This person doesn't like being double teamed.
Oh my god.
Devin Booker.
Number 16 on
He
this
has
list
the
with 4 games.
audacity to be on this
Did you
list.
see he's about to get 2 years, 150?
Wow.
They got money to burn in Phoenix, dude.
He's a bad getter.
And then of course they hired their head coach that they hired went to Ishbia school too.
I don't even know if y'all gonna get this.
And his brother just bought the White Sox.
Congrats, or I'm sorry that happened to you. Pick one.
This person played in. This person was drafted to Cleveland in 1978, and he retired with the Spurs in 1987.
George Gervin.
No.
No.
I ain't even gonna lie. The first name that came to my mind was Danny Ferry, but that's too early.
His initials are MM.
M.
What is it?
M. Eminem.
MM. Nope.
Eminem. All right. MM. Got drafted by the Cavs.
Michael Milicic.
I have no idea.
His first name is Michael.
I have no idea.
Michael Miller.
His name is Mike Mitchell.
I was about to say Mike Malone for a second.
Mike
His name is Mike Mitchell, and that is the list of players who have taken at least 35
Did we ever
attempts.
talk about Tibbs getting fired?
Oh no, we haven't.
I'm on board with it.
I don't like it.
I'm not. You know, I feel like people seem to do, and I get it. You know, the Knicks haven't been, this good, this well, especially with playoff success and things like that. And Tibbs came in. They worked the team around. They changed some stuff up. I just still feel like the way that he was playing players. I mean, there was guys openly saying that they weren't too pleased with the way the rotation was going. I feel like people thought that he would burn out just like D Rose burnt out under Tibbs. I feel like they felt like they could go in a different direction.
Well, that was my favorite. Was right before the playoffs. Mikal Bridges did either an interview or he was at a press conference and he was talking about how he told Tibbs that everybody was being played too much, and then they asked Tibbs about it. He was like, that conversation never happened. So look, I put Tibbs on my Sean McDermott list. Because whenever I talk about how Buffalo should move on from McDermott, people tell me, well, who are they going to get that's better? And It's a very valid question. But at the same time, I don't think you need better. You know what I'm saying? You might just need a different voice or somebody that, like Tibbs is a good coach, but maybe you need somebody that understands that rest is important. And when you peel it back, I think that Brad Stevens, for example, was a very good head coach. And he got replaced by an unknown Ime Udoka, who couldn't keep it in his pants, and he got replaced by an unknown Joe Mazzulla.
Keeping your pants
Minnesota's
Who's
coach. They just went to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Like, you know what he was doing before he was the head coach of the Timberwolves?
He's a private dancer.
He was an assistant. He was an assistant under Nick Nurse on that Toronto Raptors team that won the title. And Minnesota actually took him from Toronto in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? But he had never been a head coach before. So you don't necessarily need better. You need somebody that's creative, that will put the players in the best position, that has new ideas. So he doesn't have to be the grumpy motivator that Tibbs is. He just got to know how to create a game plan.
I definitely agree.
and especially in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like if this was the NFL, maybe that holds a little more weight. Like you can't just get rid of Sean McDermott and just bring in any old body. But in the NBA, I mean, you got a guy like LeBron, for example. You could bring in a David Blatt and get to the finals. Like where Tyronn Lue came from. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody knew Tyronn Lue was the coach that he is.
But you can get rid of Doug McDermott anytime you want to.
They get rid of Dougie McBuckets every time you want. And I still don't know why my fellow Baltimorean Sam Cassell ain't got a job yet.
And it's not even being
Shout
talked
out to
about for
Sam
Nick
Cassell,
job.
man.
What up, Mike?
Is it possible that he's just too ugly to be an NBA head coach?
Cowboy Mike.
No, because I mean you got Tibbs out there.
Just saying. They don't want somebody looking like
Shout out to
Baraka.
Tibbs, man.
Like I don't know what
sidelines.
if you could have Doc Rivers running around with whatever that is supposed to be on his head, you can
Spray
get away with
polish.
anything.
So who is a good fit? Do you think Jason Kidd will be? I've heard his name floating around. Do you think Jason Kidd will be a good fit for the New York Knickerbockers?
No. I don't know. So I think that Jason Kidd's a good coach, but I don't know how good of a coach Jason Kidd is. I think the Knicks should go young. I mean, they got a guy right now who was their assistant coach for the last couple years before this year that's on Cleveland staff right now. You know, maybe you holler at Johnny Bryant. You know,
do you think that this could be a situation that could end up being the breadcrumbs to an implosion? Like, what if the next coach decides to play musical chairs with the roster?
Don't do that.
Well,
it's easy to say don't do that.
Well, I think that the Knicks.
What I got.
I think that the Knicks had a very limited window, and everybody knew that, but the Knicks. You know, because as long as you had Tatum and Brown together, you knew that it was going to be tough sledding to begin with. You know what I mean? And then, you add Indiana to the mix, who did make the conference finals last year, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got Cleveland, doing what they're doing right now. So the Knicks are the team that you look at on paper and you see guys that should fit certain roles. Like, Adenobi and Bridges should be the defensive version of Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
Should be. You know what I mean? But the problem is that they both take too many shots. Like, that's not what you're here to do.
Stop it.
Josh Hart likes to be in the paint more than Cat does.
He's their best center.
He's their best center. So like, and they didn't invest in their bench. Like, you're coming off the bench with Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright and Campaign. You know what I mean? Like, so you didn't want to win a championship anyway. You just wanted to be a part of the conversation.
And I mean, they did have a magical run. I mean, the Milwaukee was hamstrung with injuries, game 1 and 2, and then Tatum got hurt for a whole nother year. I mean, I don't want to say they overachieved, you know what I'm saying, but they kind of overachieved, and now, like I said, I feel like they they are competitive, and they're going to start doing things to try and remain competitive. When I feel like a lot of their situation is just run it back, like, because again, they played musical chairs with the Villanova squad, like, shuffled all that around.
If games were played on paper, they would have beat the Pacers in 5. You know what I mean? So that's coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Paper games.
That sounds like coaching to me. Like there's just teams that you look at and you just wonder, why aren't you better?
Quando S.
So,
you know what I mean?
S better.
And like, so Cleveland makes sense because all year long, I've been trying to talk about how their backcourt is too small. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense why Cleveland couldn't finish besides the fact that they got injured. Let's be fair, they did have some injuries going on. But that backcourt ain't stopping anybody.
Never.
When you look at that's been the reports is that Rick Brunson, people don't like Rick Brunson. That's the reports coming out right now. But what I'm concerned about is that game 6 ended in Indiana. And that story about how bad Cat is on defense was out by the time they came back from commercial break to do the post game.
You can't hide 2 players on defense on the same team, man.
You can't. And that's the problem with Cleveland right now is that not only trying to hide 2 bad players, but they play in the backcourt together.
Right.
And Garland's gonna miss 4 to 5 months. So it's like, what do we see Cleveland being next season?
Well, there have been rumors that I got to check into the NBA rules because I know I've seen dudes get traded before, but
we've seen guys get traded before. Breaking news, y'all.
Who?
Only here can you get that kind of insight.
There was there was some
only
rumors.
on the box cups in the game. You want to hear about the possibilities? People can get traded, y'all.
I was talking about like I've seen dudes get traded while being injured or whatever, but
injured they can.
But the rumors have been Darius Garland for Jalen Suggs. That was one of the rumors that I've heard.
That's a crazy rumor.
But I mean, he fits the mold. You know, he in a good period of time he can shoot 40 from 3. You know, he can play really good defense.
Scrappy defender.
Like he's the things that you want Garland to be, but he can't be. Like, remember that song, that Nas song, I know I can be what I want. That applies to everybody but Darius Garland.
Dang, he can't be whatever he want to be.
Damn.
He can't be whatever he want to be. Like, he just stuck with what he is.
He can't be a defender.
You know what I mean? So I think Cleveland...
He can't be clutch in a closeout game.
Cleveland doesn't need to overreact, though. Like, I think if they can get rid of Garland... I think
underreact Cleveland.
Yeah, I think they got... And I mean, and it was year 1, you know, with a new head coach.
I think the Knicks overreacted.
By getting Cat?
Nah, I think the Knicks overreacted by getting rid of Tibbs.
Oh, maybe.
Oh no.
Maybe.
Oh no. I mean, I feel you, but I don't know. I feel like they needed to go in a different direction with coaching, but I think the next coach needs to not overreact.
Well, the next coach isn't going to have the team that he had this year.
Well, like, people are stupid because they're like, hey, who should the Knicks hire? And people are like, Mike Malone. And I'm like, oh, a dude that does the same thing that Tibbs does. Like he's Tibbs, but younger, probably.
He's Tibbs, but younger and cooler, except not really cooler.
So like, you know, I don't know. But I'm interested. The team that I'm interested to see what they're going to do is Minnesota.
Yeah. Do you think do you think that they could add a Kevin Durant, and what would that look like in Minnesota?
That's what I originally thought they were going to do, but like it sounds like the smoke is coming towards the Alamo. You know what I'm saying? And Kevin Durant may find himself across the street from me. But yeah, I thought Minnesota was going to be the original fit for him because I know Anthony Edwards was talking about how KD is one of his favorite players that he looked up to and all that. So I thought, and you know, he swept KD too and embarrassed him. So that's how you get on KD good side, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? You beat him in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And he suffers from Stockholm syndrome. He will come to your team.
For sure. He absolutely
will. So I think that would be a great fit.
Can't beat him, join him.
I think he would provide a little bit of what Minnesota needs because, you know, you got Mike Conley, who about the same age as me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't penetrating. Pause. You know what I'm saying? He ain't running the offense in the way that, you know, he was able to in Memphis. So KD is not a point guard, obviously, but he's another ball handler that can create for himself. Like Minnesota is
Yeah.
too dependent on what Anthony Edwards brings to the table.
You did 2 without doing a 2. That was good, man.
I've been working
That was
on it.
good.
You
I'm
know,
saying
so
that was
now,
really good.
so here's the question. Here's the real question. With everything that you gave up to get Rudy Gobert,
Mm.
can you come off of him now? Has enough time passed that you can trade him and your fans don't feel what the hell you doing?
Oh no, the fans will feel like they may have a parade when they get rid of Rudy
Man,
Gobert. Though. That is it.
man, really quick, dog. Shout out to my dog, Cowboy Mike, man, because I was just about to say I wanted to note that my boy Rob Dillingham in the closeout game
Okay.
7 against the Thunder when they needed it the most, Rob Dillingham has 7 points in 7 minutes. And that's all I
When they
wanted
needed
to
it
say.
most,
You
mean
know that
garbage
shit
time?
wasn't no game 7.
In garbage time when you in the garbage time when they pulled all the
I'm
stars.
You
fine.
know that wasn't no damn game 7.
Hey, Rob Dillingham said.
I mean the game
Hey,
You
6.
know that
Rob,
wasn't no
but like
damn
I said,
game
bro,
6.
Rob Dillingham 7 points,
That
7
Rob
wasn't
minutes.
no
Dillingham said,
damn
I'm
game
shooting
6
every
either.
shot. Rob Dillingham said, I'm shooting every shot.
That was game 5. That was game 5.
I'm shooting every shot.
I do like Terrence
In a
Shannon. I do like
gentleman
Terrence Shannon, but
series.
you might, I don't know, you might have to move White Dante if you can.
Gotta move White Dante. Get out of
You
here,
know,
White
I
Dante.
think Nikhil is going to walk because I don't think that they can pay him what the market is going to pay him. So it's up to Naz Reid, I guess. Like, can you keep Naz Reid or
Naz Reid? You gotta learn how to
that's
shoot.
what I was about to say. There's not a
You have to learn how to shoot when there's no Lakers on the floor.
there is no team in the NBA that will trade for Rudy Gobert right now.
I don't know about that. Like if
I wouldn't trade for him.
Maybe
yeah, I was gonna
Charlotte.
say if you got a team with Cup's guy, not the short one, why not? You know, I mean, you got Mark Williams though. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's your guy. But I think there's a few teams that would trade for Rudy Gobert. Like, you know, like you would figure that any team that got abused within the paint would want a shot blocker.
But he's not a shot blocker.
That's what he's known for.
In theory, he's a shot blocker.
I mean, according to Mike, the Chicago Bulls. I mean, he's one of the top defenders in the league by what's that metric called? The closest defender within 5 feet or whatever that stat is.
Oh, that's a great stat.
You know, he's one of the top. He's one of the top people on that list. You know, saying like, what if you're a team?
Name another person who went on that list.
Well, last year it was Luka, but you know, if you're one of those people, if you're one of those.
That's how I determine if a stat is a good stat.
What if I put Rudy Gobert? What if I put Rudy Gobert next to Zion?
And did what? What are they performing? What are they doing?
They are playing basketball. They're playing
COVID. What are they doing?
Oh, okay. They're playing basketball.
I'm cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like
cool on that.
Could you put Rudy Gobert next to Giannis?
I'm cool on that. I don't like Rudy Gobert as a basketball player.
I don't like Rudy Gobert either, but I'm not gonna act like, you know what I'm saying, like he's totally invaluable because I think if we saw
Rudy and Giannis might do something
invaluable.
Well, I think if we saw Minnesota's defense without Rudy, you know what I'm saying, we might appreciate him a little bit more.
So for large periods of the game, they would pull Rudy Gobert from the game and just play with Naz Reid.
And how'd that work out for him?
Well, against the Lakers.
Oh, Jay Uso and Gunther tonight.
Uh-oh. I'll be seeing some random clips on the internet, which I have no context to tell me what it means or why it's important.
Trying to think who else.
But we know it's Jay Uso.
That's the Yeet guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Again, I don't know what that means. I just know that he does it. That's like my new favorite thing now is because I guess my algorithm heard that I'm interested in wrestling again. was just showing me random wrestling clips. Like I think I broke the R-Truth thing. Also led to the R-Truth thing by continuously posting saying, I don't think this man is okay, which I still don't think this man is okay.
Hey, Nikki
Um,
Bella's on my
R-Truth.
screen.
whatever that means.
You know, but I could put Rudy Gobert in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Have
If,
him
if
clean.
if Rudy Gobert was a wrestler, who would he be?
Disco Inferno.
He'd be like Kamala to me. He'd be like Kamala to me. It just does nothing. He's just there.
I'm trying to think.
Rest
If
in
he was
peace,
a
Kamala.
Rest in peace, Kamala.
No, if I put him in Toronto and let him clean up BI and RJ Barrett's defensive mistakes.
Who was the really tall one that was supposed to have claws?
I was supposed to have claws.
Yeah, the claws. There's like a big guy. He had like long fingers. He was supposed to be like have claws.
I don't know.
He was a hairy man.
Are you talking about Giant Gonzalez?
It might have been
he's
John
the-
Gonzalez.
He used to wear like the little naked bodysuit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Rudy Gobert.
That's tough.
Dude is inconsequential, bro.
That's tough.
He had one game where we could say that a team won a playoff game because he was on the team. It's because the Lakers decided to have the brilliant idea of playing a roster that is 6-8 and down for an entire game.
Hey, that was a rookie head coach, man.
No 7-footers. Small ball.
Man, y'all told me that Duke had that education going.
Duke does have education going on. Thank you.
You know,
It's
I mean,
just
I'm just saying that wasn't an educated decision
is
by a
JJ
Duke
Redick-
alumni.
is JJ Redick Duke educated though?
Yeah,
Bro,
he's
did
Duke
you
educated.
hear what Shane Battier said today?
Of course. What'd he say?
He said
He
that
said, of course.
LeBron did something twice that I don't think Jordan could do once.
Oh,
He made
boy.
Shane Battier an NBA champion.
Shane Battier said that?
Yeah.
No, Shane Battier would have killed on those Bulls teams.
I'm weak.
He would have
Yeah,
killed those teams. Because all he had to do, think about it, all he had to do was set screens, play hard defense, and just be ready for the three ball when it comes.
I don't know what was going on with his dome. You know what I'm saying? Like the man had them
Yeah.
lines. He had them hot dog lines in his head.
Yeah. He's just a
You know
young
what I'm
old
saying?
man. But Shane Battier was always a young old man.
Glizzy Battier. Trying to think who. Yeah, man. Rudy Gobert is he can be valuable for the right team, and like the Warriors would probably love to have him.
Send him to the Bullets.
Nah.
Damn.
Yeah, now send him to the Bullets.
Nah.
He can be valuable for the Bullets.
No,
Send him to the Bullets.
we already got Sar.
No, y'all can have Sar. Y'all can have the Twin Towers, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Sar,
No,
Sar
we about
and
to
go bar.
No, we about
The
to
Sar
get
and go
either,
bar.
no, we're about to get either Dirk Queen or Thomas Sober. You know what I'm saying?
Trade that pick. Trade that pick and get Gobert, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man.
His dome is crazy.
Speaking of which, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, NBA draft in 16 days.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
The
shout out
Cooper
to
flag,
Boston, bro.
the
We should
Cooper
get Danny
flag era
Wolf from Michigan.
begins.
You know everybody's looking to see where Tyrese Proctor goes.
I don't think anybody
Who?
cares where Tyrese Proctor goes.
I care where Tyrese Proctor goes.
I want to see where Zion James goes so I can figure out what team I'm going to hate for the next 15 years.
Hey, they've been talking about that man, bro. Like they like, yo, this is the kind
That's
of guy
why I said
you
15
need.
years. That's why I
They
said
said-
15 years.
Yeah, they said this is the kind of guy that you need if you want to win championships.
Yeah, a guy that's going to be really like a good part of the reason you win or a good part of the reason you lose.
You know what I'm saying? And then of course, you know, there's the whole like what's going to happen with Malawatch.
Yeah, I think he's going to stick around. I think he's going to be able to stay in the country. I think.
You know what I'm saying? So Malawatch, you know, he gonna end up on the Bulls to piss Mike off.
Shout out to Danny Wolf and the Michigan Wolverines.
I think he likes
Future
Malawatch. on
Boston
his team.
Celtics.
He likes Malawatch.
I don't know. No, he don't like Malawatch.
He don't like Malawatch?
No, he doesn't
like
like
Malawatch.
Malawatch. No,
Play solid defense.
Danny Wolf might be the ultimate. What is this dude gonna be?
I want to
That's
see
why
where my
he's
guy
gonna
Grant
fall.
Nelson ends up. Where
That's
does Grant
exactly why
Nelson
he's
end
gonna
up?
He
fall.
needs to end up in Utah, to be honest with you. Him and
No,
Filipowski.
dog. Stop
No, I'm
trying
talking
to
about
send
Danny.
people
I'm talking about
to
Danny Wolf.
Siberia, dog.
No, bro, Danny Wolf and
Oh.
Filipowski will get the computers Putin.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my guy Grant Nelson.
Oh no,
Nah,
no.
bro.
Grant Nelson, I don't know where he gonna go. He might not get drafted.
I hope Grant Nelson gets drafted, dog.
Danny
That's
Wolf
my
has
dog.
Celtic
I've
written
been
all
seeing
over.
these mocks with Mark Sears on there though.
Mark Sears, where? Where to?
You know what I'm saying? Like way late in the draft, like like in the 50s.
Is he short too? Is it a short thing?
Yeah, he's a short dude. Because he definitely can shoot it.
Dude's a baller, man. It's like dudes
Yeah,
that are ballers,
Shout out to
man.
the short
I've been
dude.
wrong
he,
about I've been wrong about mad ballers though. Like I thought Kemba Walker was gonna be like really, really him.
he's they got him listed at
I don't want to talk
6'1",
about Kemba Walker.
190. They got him listed at 6'1", 190, but I'm thinking like 5'11", 175.
Jeez. But we about the same height, and I'm heavier than him.
Like he a little dude, man. He a little dude.
That's crazy. He's a little dude in NBA terms. The average male is 5'5".
Yeah. He's a little dude NBA wise.
I'm just saying.
Like he doesn't pass the Steph scale.
Mm.
Like he might be shorter than Kyrie, to be honest with you.
But you know what's crazy is the Steph one always gets like that's the one that people are like Steph's so small. Like no, Steph's 6'3".
I know, but he
Like,
don't look
what
like
are you
it.
talking about? He don't look like it because he came in like a skinny dude and like he's a slender dude. So and like, but you like if you ever see him standing next to actual short people, like actual short NBA players, he don't look short.
Stephen Curry would tower over the majority of
Over Donovan Mitchell.
regular people. Like
Like
the guy at your AmFam, Stephen Curry would tower over him.
For sure.
So are y'all excited for this potential NBA versus the world?
I watch the All-Star game regardless, man. Like this is the thing for me. For people who like the All-Star game, they're gonna watch it regardless. It doesn't need to be a blockbuster. It doesn't need to be. The Pro Bowl's not blockbuster. The MLB All-Star game isn't blockbuster. Nobody watches these things like, oh my gosh, I'm hoping to get the height of competition. It's an All-Star game, dog. Let it be an All-Star game. But it's only a big deal because they like the NFL Pro Bowl might be the worst thing to watch on the planet.
This is true.
Nobody's trying to change the Pro Bowl. Nobody's trying to change the Pro Bowl.
Oh, Bailey back. Yeah, I agree.
So like that's my thing. Is like of the All-Star games, the NBA has the best All-Star game, but people don't want to change the other All-Star games. They just want to change the NHL hockey. The hockey All-Star game is probably pretty good, but I will never watch that.
Well, I think the problem is that you got, like you always say, you got the people that are supposed to advertise the game and promote it that are the biggest ones criticizing it, and and nobody. I don't think anybody believes that you can't criticize things that need to be criticized, but they go OD with it, and then
they do.
And then you got these videos about Shaq, with Shaq talking about like, I don't watch the Detroit Pistons. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, this is your job.
This is literally your job. This is literally what they pay you to do, dog.
Yeah, and so that's where, and not only that, because of who he is, his voice, the reach that he has, and the fact that he's a legend of the game. You know what I mean? It's like you can't be talking like that about the NBA. Have those conversations in an office with Silver.
Right. Dallas Mike. But see, that's the thing. The MLB All-Star, the home run derby is not the All-Star game. That's like the 3-point contest. People love the 3-point contest. And people used to love the dunk contest. But the actual game, like who watches the MLB All-Star game? Not the home run derby. And I'm pretty sure there's other things that happen beside the home run derby on MLB All-Star weekend.
I think that's it.
No, I thought they do something else.
The last time I watched the baseball All-Star game was when they were still playing for home field advantage.
Last time I watched the MLB All-Star game, I want to say it was a Rock and Jock Challenge. Speaking of which, that's a callback. I missed the Rock. They need to bring back the Rock and Jock Challenge.
We need American Gladiators.
Gladiators comes back and goes away too often. The Rock and Jock game, though. Dog, the Rocking Jock game.
Oh, see what you did? You done got R-Truth on my TV now.
See, it's Ron Killings. By the
Ron
way,
Killings.
sorry. Another thing that in my not actually watching wrestling, but watching reels that talk about wrestling, this man's name was Ron Killings,
I think
and
that's
they
his real
decided to
name.
name him. This is his real name, and they
Yeah.
called it R-Truth.
Because that's his rap name.
That is a missed opportunity. Dog,
That was his
Ron
rap
Killings might be
name.
the most fire wrestling name of all time.
R-Truth is his rap name.
That's a terrible rap name. And he spoke no truth.
You can't handle the truth.
That's tough.
Dog, how do you have a name? You got a name like Ron Killings, dog. In the WW, dog, you know how many stuff you can do with killing? I'm out here killing. I'm killing these wrestlers.
As opposed to a
Ron
name
Killings.
as opposed to a name like John Cena.
You can't Cena me. Boo.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
But nah, man.
killing them. That's dog. That's a missed opportunity. And then Mr. How long's man?
Oh,
You say he's like
snap, what are you
53?
doing? Yo, what are you doing?
You say he's 53 years old?
Yeah. Bro, why he doing this?
What is he doing?
He's cutting his dreads off.
See?
You know what I'm saying? With the scissors. He got the scissors. cutting
I
his
think that's a
dreads
step
off.
in the right direction. Now, what he needs to do is have my brother come in and cut him. They should have brought back Brutus Barbershop. They should have brought that back. Have somebody else as a new wrestler who's a barber who cuts people's hair when they're changing their gimmick.
Like there are literally people in the crowd with the face like that dude had when the Undertaker lost at WrestleMania.
He cut the terrible dreads, which he should have cut years ago. He got the Jerry Rice dread that Jerry Rice had when he was when he played for the Raiders.
You
It
know
was
what I'm
like
saying?
the
Jerry
saddest
Rice-
thing to watch.
Jerry Rice dread started the 30-yard line.
It was the saddest thing to watch in the world. But right, so something else I noticed in my not watching wrestling but watching reels about wrestling is there's a guy named Braun who is just Goldberg.
Braun Breaker, yeah. He's actually Rick Steiner's son.
But he's Goldberg.
Yeah.
It's the
But he's
exact
better
same
than
thing they do
Goldberg,
with
though. He's better than
Goldberg.
Goldberg, though.
How?
He can actually wrestle, though, besides Spears.
I've only seen him do spears.
You
And
know
that
what I'm saying?
stupid, I saw him do something dumb where it looks like he's supposed to be catching somebody come off the rope and slamming them, but it's just like he falls and headbutts them with his head. Like it looks like he like can't hold them and he slips and falls. That's what that move looks like. He's awful. So this is what I'm gonna do. This is my new segment. Criticizing wrestlers without actually watching wrestling to know anything about the actual wrestler. That's what I'm gonna give the game.
Novice tonight on Novice
This is
Takes.
what I'm giving the game.
Where's Novice
That's
Takes?
hilarious.
This is what I'm giving the game, y'all. I'm gonna Shaquille O'Neal my way into being a wrestling expert.
Speaking of the game, does the game have any
Wrestling Takes with Rez.
The documentary. That's it.
Is the game better than Jadakiss?
No,
I think
he's
so.
not.
Fuck
He's
the
not.
locks.
What's your classic game song? They have nothing to do with 50 Cent.
One Blood.
Okay, now name a second.
Y'all
Now name a
better
second.
not.
Why are you
Y'all-
changing the rules? You
Y'all
just said
better
name
not
one.
Listen,
come to
that's one,
my
that's one.
studio with that
So
fake
100
shit.
is not 100 is
Y'all
not 100
better
is
not.
not a classic song. Stop that. 100 is not a classic song. Stop that.
I don't know. I think Old English is a personal classic.
What is games all about the Benjamins?
One Blood.
Okay, what is games 24 hours to live?
300 bars.
Stop it. Stop it. I can quote half the 300 bars verse and nobody can still name that song.
Hey, you ever heard game song Olivia?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, there you go, Mike. There you go. Boom. Dreams.
Dreams is fire, but Dreams was on the documentary.
Hey, Olivia is a classic. I don't care what nobody say.
No, I didn't hear Olivia. Wouldn't Get Far.
Wouldn't Get
Wouldn't Get
Far.
Far is a funny song. It's not a good song. It's a funny
Hey,
song.
Melissa Ford don't
That's
know
all-
that
that
I can
was
afford a
what I should
Honda
do.
Accord.
A Honda Accord. Melissa Ford can't afford a
Come on,
Honda
bro.
Accord. and that's what she said she's been running away from. She has to deal with her whole career. Is Melissa Ford couldn't afford a Honda Accord.
Hey, what about Martians and Goblins?
You lost me there, but
You know what I'm
I've never
saying?
heard that
Game
song
and
in my
Tyler, the
life.
creator.
Never heard
No,
this song
thank
before in
you.
my life.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I didn't know Vita Guerrero. Never mind. So anyway, I don't know. Jadakiss. So I always talk about how I don't know where to rank Kawhi Leonard and I don't know where to rank Kevin Durant. That's how I feel about Jadakiss. I don't know where to put him.
I have Jadakiss. So I feel that way about Jadakiss. I feel that way about Pusha T.
And Cameron.
No, I know where to rank Cameron. I know exactly where to rank Cameron. If you got 100 rappers, he's in my bottom 25.
Jesus.
Like
Who?
I don't think Cameron's a good rapper at all. But I feel like that what you just said, I feel like that about Jadakiss. I feel that way about Pusha T. I know they're both extremely amazing,
I
but
don't
I
know
don't know where to rank them in like top 50
I don't know
rappers.
where to put Pusha T. I just know he belongs below his brother.
Ooh. But the problem is, the problem with Pusha T is this. The problem with Malice is this. And it's sort of the same thing people say about Andre 3000 and Andre and Big Boy is Push kept rapping. And he's rapping. Like Push has never come out and not rapped.
Mm-hmm.
Malice gets to pick his spots when he wants to just rap. Like he goes and but like nobody's listening to like the No Malice
Hey, I was
gospel
listening
albums.
to No Malice.
What's your favorite No
You know what I'm
Malice
saying?
song?
He was still better than Pusha.
Stop it.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop
And then he came back
Stop
on
it.
Pusha album when he came back to Malice and was like, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't go nowhere.
God, Push, I promise you, Push has so many dope songs that I forgot what were Push songs until I had to look down at the thing because they'll be featuring somebody else. Like Snitch is a fire song.
I don't
What's
know
the
what to
one
do
with
with
him?
Big Sean either.
Oh, Big Sean. Big Sean is a good rapper. I don't have him up there with Jadakiss and Push though.
Like I think Big Sean is what people that don't like J. Cole try to say J. Cole is.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
can
the
see that.
boring dude. Like, you know, he can rap, he got bars, but it's just like I don't want to hear this right now.
The girls on Glee.
Yeah, like yeah, you heard what Kanye said.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
You know
it.
what I'm saying? But you know, but
Oh,
yeah.
the worst thing I've ever done is sign Big Sean. That is a wild bar.
And I'm still mad at Apple Music because I can't get Duppy.
I'll never want Duppy.
I need that Duppy freestyle. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no malice in your heart. You an approachable dude.
You're an approachable dude.
You know what I'm saying? Mr. Bitch is
Shout
in
out
the
to the
building.
man
Ted
Emotion.
DiBiase.
Man, Emotions in the building. What up, my guy?
You know what I'm saying? How we doing, fellas? It's good to see y'all. 2-5, El
Yes,
Rez.
sir. Yes,
Yeah.
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? My boy
We out here-
Raphael.
We out here
Building
criticizing
already,
wrestlers
man.
without watching wrestling. You know what it means. You know what it is.
Man, listen, all I have to say is the Pusha T slander has to stop.
Mm.
At what point
Mm.
do we recognize Pusha T diss Lil Wayne?
I didn't hear no
And
slander.
won.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh, he did.
I
And
don't
won.
remember hearing no slander. Who
I
gave him the
heard
slander?
some slander when they said No Malice. Who is No Malice diss? No Malice didn't dethrone Wayne. No Malice didn't dethrone Drake.
Uh-oh.
Pusha
I
T broke down Drake all the way.
I don't think Pusha has ever been on a song with Malice and had the better verse.
I will.
Yes, he
You know
has.
what? I
Yes,
will
he
agree
has.
with you on that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, Pusha's not that guy. Like, bro, he silenced Drake. He had Drake on
Nobody
hush
said
mode.
that.
Who
He had
said
Drake on hush
who
mode.
said ghetto, the backyard, the yard? Who said that?
I'm weak.
Who said that?
Hey, listen.
Who said that? Who said Drake
If
was a
you-
deadbeat motherfucker playing Border Patrol?
If you was around in 2002 when that joint dropped, every lunch table was playing that. Every lunch table had this and the pencil.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? That was the beat. There was no other beat.
Ghetto, the backyard, the yard. Push.
This nigga said, I'm a legend in 2 games like I'm Pee Wee Kirkland. Like, come on, bro.
But that's not his bar, though. That's not his bar.
I don't know,
That's not his
bro.
bar.
Like Malice's weight is as heavy as his name, though.
That's some real shit.
You know what
But
I'm saying?
push though.
What's
Come on.
Malice's ad lib?
I think that we can
Whoa.
agree. We
That's
can
his ad
agree.
lib. Whoa.
We can agree that at a point, yeah, Malice was better than Push. But I feel like even when Push went on his own, he
Push is
elevated
so good.
himself
Yeah,
to
Push is
that
so good,
level
dog.
of Malice.
No,
Push is so good,
Push
dog.
is a great rapper, like for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody questions that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. I was hearing the
Nah,
wrong part
he
of the
was
conversation.
being ice. He was being a freeze from the Joe Budden
No,
podcast.
I like Pusha. I just like Malice better. That's it.
Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing Ice said. They caught him bars. Now don't
Yeah.
let Push hear this podcast. We
Hey,
start
fuck
throwing
Push.
punches
I
at
got
your
bars
spot.
for Push. Fuck Push.
Oh
Hey,
shit.
Push.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
shit.
Hey, Push. If you watching this,
Oh,
dog, his
I could rap
name
about
is Michael O.
some
Wilson.
hard white 65 times.
His name is Michael O. Wilson. He lives in San Antonio,
You know what I'm
Texas.
saying?
Hey, all I'm saying is
Don't do that.
Oh damn.
Hey, I let it ring on him like Virginia Williams.
Oh,
Hey, wait.
You heard the last. You heard what happened to the last man that said that.
Hey, I know all my baby mamas known. Everybody know my baby mamas.
So I'm gonna draw the line. If he tries to rap about Lindsay, I'm gonna have to scrap just based on homeboy code. But you can't just be out here saying stuff that's gotten people like hemmed up before and just be like, calling for these fights, my guy.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
I'm
not gonna let him rap about Narissa. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Hey, I'm just saying. I will take the jewels. I will take the jewels out of his subwoofer. That's all I'm saying, bro.
What up, fellas? What up, fellas?
What's going on, Mike?
Guy?
You know what I'm saying? Mike don't fuck with Push.
That's crazy.
Never fuck with Push ever.
You know
why
what
not?
OVO Mike.
The OVO Mike. He's OVO Mike.
You know why?
That's his name.
Mike
he ordered the nigga you running behind.
Mike was the one. Mike was the one that gave Drake that approachable dude line.
That line was hard, yo, pause.
That line was hard.
Hold on. Yo, my microphone off. Hold on, quick.
I mean, but wouldn't you want to be approachable? That's what people would do business with you.
Push is a nice guy. Everybody says Push is a nice guy.
No, yeah, Push gotta be approachable if he's selling all that product.
I mean, he's
right.
He's the president.
How else do you sell product?
How you push
How else do you sell product? They have to approach you.
Be approachable, Terrence. You know what I'm saying?
Parents have real nice marriage.
You know, like what is it? You know what I'm saying? He's Terrence Thornton. I'm Terrence Crawford. I'm whooping feet.
Whooping feet. Whooping feet.
Nigga said I'm
Speaking of which, to get back on sports, is anybody interested in this Canelo Bud Crawford fight?
Is it coming on DAZN?
Is it what? Yes.
Then I'll be watching it because I paid for a year subscription of DAZN.
I want to say it's in. I think it's September 12th or 13th or something like that.
I just want to see my man fight, dog. That's it. I want to see Bud Crawford fight, and Loma retired, so that's the last person I have left to watch fight.
So who went missing longer?
You're not gonna watch Clarissa?
Nah,
not really.
Why not?
Unless I want to see her fight that white girl that was headbutting that girl on
the Puerto Rican girl, yeah.
What was that? What was that fight that came on a few months ago? Wasn't it the what's the Hispanic dude with who boxed what's the dude with the braid who boxed Tank? And it was like every fight leading up to it was like the girls was really like basically the highlight of that night.
Are you talking about Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, Ryan Garcia and Tank, but remember they had like all the other boxers.
Oh, the fights before it was really good. Yeah.
Oh,
the fights before was really
Cruz
good.
was on there.
You said who?
Sucks.
It wasn't Teofimo, was it?
No, it was like some. It was a Hispanic chick, but I can't remember who it was.
Oh, a girl. Oh, that's the girl we talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is her name Cervantes or something like that? That's
Secondly, would y'all date a female boxer? How would y'all
No.
feel? What do y'all feel about that?
No.
You doing the dishes or what?
I think that like before I could
No.
date a female boxer, I gotta get good at injections.
I'm weak.
I put something in her biceps to calm her ass down.
Yeah, for
Like,
real.
if your girl, if you out and she
Tranquilize
tell you
her
to
ass.
come home, like, are you going?
Yeah, bro.
You gonna stay out?
I'm still bugging.
I don't know.
The
It's kind of
nigga, the
crazy
nigga
though.
Mike
Like,
P gonna show up the next day at the huddle with a black eye. Nigga, you
no.
going?
Here's
Straight
the
up.
Yeah,
question.
I'm
Here's the
alright.
question. If you
You
was
ain't never
dating a
lied,
girl
dog, with a black eye.
That nigga Mike gonna be trying to add season to shit. Nigga, you need to see her, nigga. Don't ask me if
you was
I'm
dating
good.
a female
Nigga
boxer
crying
and
in the
she
car
broke
the
your,
whole time.
if you was dating a
I'm back
female
laughing.
boxer and she broke your jaw, would you be afraid to tell people?
I'm fucking weak.
Man, bro,
I would
I
say
failed,
I
bro.
fail. I
I
would
don't do
say I
violence in my
fail,
relationship,
bro.
my guy.
I'm not
Yeah,
even
me
gonna
either.
lie. I'd be
You
like,
done
bro,
got
I
hit
failed,
before.
bro.
Stop it.
By
Yeah, I
who?
have.
By who?
By who? By who?
By whoever you was
Okay.
cutting the sheets with.
Hey, dog.
I ain't
Listen.
saying a full up punch, but I ain't saying
Listen,
a straight
man.
up punch, but
I'm
somebody
a I'm a whole role model in these here streets, my guy.
somebody done went Haley Bailey on you.
Dog. I'm not advocating for domestic violence, my guy.
I'm just saying.
I'm
You
a,
got your
I'm a
girl
whole
one time though.
I'm
That's
a
your
whole
girl.
role model and podcaster.
Yeah, that's your girl
Man,
for sure.
shit, nah, man,
All I'm
fuck that,
saying
bro.
is if I was dating a female boxer and she broke my jaw, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
We'd never make it that far. It would
I
never
don't-
last that long.
I just don't know. Like, do you like if people tell you like if they're like, yo, what happened? You're
I'm
like,
telling you,
yo,
bro. I just be
Marissa
like, we were
got
sparring
mad.
partners.
It'll never go that far.
We were
I'm like, yeah, we
sparring.
were sparring. Y'all already know.
It'll never go that far.
We was sparring.
Yeah, we
I'm
was
You got me.
sparring.
fucking
No
weak.
bullshit. She was
So
trying
you gonna
to
tell the
train.
police when they pull up? We was
Yeah,
sparring.
look, iron sharpens iron. I bet you she win.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
I'm
fucking
cool.
weak.
Iron
Iron.
sharpens iron. I bet she win her next
What if
title.
your girl punch you and be like, they don't hit on
That's
wrestling like
crazy.
this?
Iron sharp as iron is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I bet she win though.
He'd be like, why don't she have any marks then? And you
I
got
bet she
all the
win her
marks.
next title.
I
Iron
don't know.
sharp
I'm not.
as
I
I'm
iron.
not
bet she
watching.
wins her
I'm not
next
watching
title.
Clarissa Shields unless she fighting Remy.
Oh,
Yeah,
watch
you
that.
gotta make that happen. That's be box
Oh,
office.
watch that.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
What man? Did y'all see that joint the other day where Clarissa had that pink shit on and she peeled that bitch? Oh goddamn, y'all tripping, boy. That is a woman.
See, y'all got me up here dissing Pusha. Now you talking about Papoose girl.
Nigga, fuck Pap.
Dog, that's
I ain't that nigga Pap ain't
another
done
one.
shit but rap the
Another
alphabet.
one.
Fuck that
Yo,
nigga.
Another
you
one.
ever just
Another
sit
one.
back? You ever just sit back and listen to a Papoose song before?
Never.
Never.
The
Never.
only
Yo,
song that I
Never
ever
in
heard,
life.
no bullshit, was the Alphabetical Slaughter. When that joint, remember when MTV Jams used to have no commercials?
Yeah.
That's when that's how you heard shit like, remember Ray Cash bumping my music was on
Oh yeah,
there.
that was my shit.
That was my shit. Fucking Papoose was on there with the Alphabetical Slaughter. You had
Hey, what the game was on there with?
We're not talking about the game, bro.
Game probably
Leave
had
JC alone.
hey no, the One Blood remix was like 11 minutes long. That was
yeah,
crazy.
It
like
was.
bro,
No,
y'all gotta pull out the game discography though for real.
So to
Like
me,
y'all
sorry,
wild with the game hate, bro.
All right, hold on, I'll be back.
Wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. You don't
I
like
gotta
the game
take
too
this
far?
call. I'll be back.
You didn't think Jesus Piece was tough?
it's cool. It
Red
ain't
said he
my
wasn't a
bag.
fan of it.
I'm
I'm
about to
trying to
say.
figure
Jesus
out
Piece was
what
tough when it
Jadakiss album
dropped,
that
bro. He
pissed.
had Kevin Hart on the intro and shit. That was
No, so
tough, bro.
the game has better albums than Jadakiss. That's not. I don't think that's a question. But if you're talking just like
Damn.
songs, if you're talking songs, Jadakiss has like if they did a versus, and remember a versus is just songs, and that's what Jadakiss gets people. Like the songs that he can pull out, bro. Game can't see that.
He got a couple of jumps that's crazy, but like
He
he was
don't got
pulling
as
out Hot
many as
97
Jada.
freestyles and shit. Like man, nobody give a fuck about that other than if you
But
in not in New York.
but he was pulling out the Hot 97
Red
freestyles
Rose,
because he
White
was
Roof.
going against. Because he was going against. But Jadakiss got girl songs for girls. Jadakiss got street anthems. Jadakiss got you got mixtape joints. Jadakiss got songs with Biggie. Like for real. Like Doug, Jadakiss is that guy. Like he's that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy.
I don't know. I don't listen. I
But
listen.
who's buying the Jadakiss album though?
I don't
But
know.
Like before why? Let's
But
go back
but that's the
before
thing.
why.
Who's
Yeah, I
buying
remember
it?
those. I remember the wide
Why
jokes
was
with
like his
Anthony
biggest
Hamilton.
song?
But who's buying?
Why the crack have to hit so
Who's
hard?
buying game albums?
Why the crack hit so hard?
That's how you Jada
Like,
Moi.
who's buying game
It's
albums?
Kiss.
I
Jada.
did.
No, you
Huh?
did because
I have
you're
every
a
game
game
physical
fan.
copy album, even the
Right,
last
but
show they put out, the documentary too.
That's crazy. But because you're a game fan. But like, if Game was making as much money off of selling CDs as people would think, he would release a whole lot more CDs.
My nigga Mike P
does.
had the Hurricane games.
I
Dude
tried to get them Jones, dog. They sold out so quick. I couldn't get them.
Y'all know I told y'all I'm a man. I tell y'all Game was a social media he's a content creator to me, bro. That's what I think of him as, bro.
Oh man, not a
He's
rapper.
a content creator, bro.
I mean, Game did. He did dismantle G Unit by itself. He did dismantle Meek Mill too.
He did. He's a really good rapper. He's just
I
not.
don't know anybody. That's why I
I'm
think he
not
try to
checking for
insert
him.
this up in rap beat because they don't really want him again. They know it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah. I was really
Oh,
interested in the fact that like Game stayed out of just completely stayed out of the Drake Kendrick thing. I was really shocked at that because that's usually the kind of thing he throw himself right into most of the time. Like, it has nothing to do with him at all. He just wants to drop a verse.
Drake and Kendrick was like two titans going
No,
at it.
It really was.
You can't. And it's like, as much as I hate to say, I feel like when I first heard They Not Like Us, that song took some time to grow on me. Pause. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't.
Except when it came out. No, when it came out, I told my homeboy, I said, this is the worst song of the Kendrick songs.
Thank you.
But it's the
Okay,
catchiest.
thank
It's
you,
the
bro.
catchiest. And this was him saying, I'm gonna finish you by doing what you do to people. It's a really elementary level song that is not like lyrically the dopest, but the beat is undeniable and it's something people can repeat over and over and over again. You can repeat Euphoria over and over and over again.
I don't understand, and I just simply don't understand how
Which is
people
the best song
thought
of it.
that song was a better song than Drop and Give Me 50.
Oh, it is.
Especially the second one. No,
it is.
bro,
No,
it is not.
It is.
Drop.
That song was
Nigga, what?
No, that song was terrible.
That
song was terrible.
The push-up
song?
Push-ups was the worst of the Drakes. No. The Hard Part 6 was the worst of the Drake joints.
No, I think Hard Part 6 was definitely underrated. You gotta
Kendrick just open his mouth.
No,
oh my God, give him a Grammy right now. What do you think?
The Hard Part 6 was the worst to me because it was him quitting. It was literally him quitting.
Well, let me ask you this.
I mean,
listen,
when you move on a pedophile play, it's kind of hard for you to say anything after that. Like,
you know what you shouldn't say?
Defend, but it gets to the point, the more you defend, the more you seem like, okay, it's true.
You know what you shouldn't say when you're going against pedophile stuff? Is
what?
Oh, the people who are feeding you information are clowns. We are the people who fed you the information.
That's also true.
He said it in his own song.
That's also true. I agree with you.
Like he had so many missteps. Even in
but how would you maneuver around that? Like, I'm literally, you know how black folks is, Rez. That's like me saying like, oh, Rez got a fat head. If that joke funny, it's gonna stick.
He ain't never lied.
You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas gonna be walking around calling you fat head 10 years from now.
But you know what I would say immediately to that?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Oh,
and I win.
You'll come back.
You can't say that about being a pedo. You can't say that about being a pedo.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. In rap, you got to learn how to redirect. Right? They hit you something right. They hit you something that's because that's what happened. Right? But you have to have your pivot. And his pivot wasn't good enough. But you know the craziest song to me? The craziest song to me in that whole thing was Family Matters. Not Family Matters. Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams.
That was wild. That was wild.
Is the most scathing deconstruction of a human being I've ever heard in my life in rap.
But a lot of it's not even true, though. A lot of it's just how you feel.
No, one part wasn't true. The one part that wasn't true was the part with the daughter. But like when he was talking about, like when he was saying, he was saying that you told him like your son is a terrible person, and like he was talking to the parents, and the problem is like he was talking to him like he was their therapist.
Yeah.
But again, that's the point. He said his opinion. Nobody
no,
in
he
that
was
camp really
absolutely.
believes him. Nobody believes that this is what Drake is. If it
Well,
is Drake,
no, I don't think anybody really thinks that Drake is a pedophile, dog.
But
I
he
think
talked
Kendrick thinks
about
that.
dude's wife though. He did talk about his wife,
He
bro.
did talk about his wife, and
and
that
that's like he lied about
And
that,
Drake
John. It's
stays
like,
doing that. It's like, why are you talking about niggas' wives, bro?
because
yeah, I
that's
didn't
the
like that.
Drake
I didn't care for
move,
that. I didn't care for that either. I think again, I
right?
think he didn't he don't understand that playbook is old. Like
It
nobody care
is
about you messing with somebody's wife. Nobody care
right.
about you having more money than them. Nobody. Like,
Thank you.
you got to
Thank
get to a
you.
certain point where it's not about the goofy stuff anymore.
That
Bar him
play
up,
died
bro.
with Push. When he said
Bar
that
him up.
Virginia Williams line, that play died, bro.
But what
Literally,
bothers me is Drake could bar him up. Drake could have barred Kendrick up.
he
Like
tried. Nobody
I
wanted to hear
believe
that.
in
They wanted to
I,
dance.
no, Drake wants them to dance. That's the problem. Whereas Kendrick is like, Euphoria was not a song to dance to. And Euphoria was about one person. Meet the Grams was about one person. Not like us, about one person. 616 in LA, one person. Drake trying to make songs talking about it's a 20v1 and I'm rapping against all these people. Dog, don't worry about any of them over there. None of them got nothing for you. This man right here is trying to kill you.
No, because Ross did say something about him. He did say something about Ross.
Everybody did.
Yeah,
Ross
everybody
said
did
something.
come at
ASAP
Drake,
did.
bro. Everybody
Ross
did
said
come at
something
Drake.
about him because he said something about Ross. He threw it. He had like remember the first Drake song, the first Drake disc. He was throwing like shots at all these different people,
Because they
and
had
that's
said
how they
something
got
They
brought.
about him.
dissed him on stage.
Yeah, they dissed him, bro.
And
That was
they dissed
before.
him on
That's why he
on the
said
Future
something.
song.
Because they dissed
On the
him
Future
before
song, they
that.
dissed him.
Oh, see, I didn't
Travis
hear the
Scott,
future song.
all of them on stage dissing Drake. So it's like, and Drake coming off tour, they tried to sneak attack him.
Nah,
All of it
he,
was playing,
yeah,
yo. The football was playing. The whole, not like all this stuff was playing, yo. These
nah,
people,
bro.
look,
You can't plan to have the number one song in the country for
the
52
people
weeks.
that had the Amazon Joe with Kendrick, that dude is in his camp.
Well, probably.
DJ Head talked about that. Like these people are diabolical. They playing this against Drake.
But you gotta
Yeah.
remember, what
They
started it.
all playing this.
What started it was We Don't Trust You.
No, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
the
we
song.
don't
I'm
trust
gonna
you.
tell you
Yeah.
the song that started it.
No. I'm saying like that little event for that year. What started
Oh,
that
we don't
whole
trust you.
little
Yeah,
back and forth where they
like
had
that,
them 6
like that
songs
No,
started.
was that
no,
Nah,
album, bro.
I disagree. I'm gonna tell you the exact. Drake started it. I was wrong.
Control started it.
Drake started. No, well that too, but the song
Yeah.
that Drake came out with, I think it's called. It's off the for all the dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called I think away from home, where he talk about
Okay.
how Michelle Obama put him on a playlist, and then he doesn't feel like he was taking like that's the song he really was talking crazy about Kendrick. I think Kendrick was like, nah, bro, you keep on throwing subliminals like because Drake went
Yeah,
crazy on that jump. He was talking
but
about
Drake
losing
was
the game.
also yeah. But that's
He
when
was
he was
talking
saying
all
that
of them
they're
in
trying
the
to
same day.
they got a plot to like over. She's started saying that they're trying to like
Yes,
take his spot from him. Yeah,
and
but for
Churchill
me,
Downs with Jack Harlow. He
yeah.
talked the same talk.
But for me, it's about the fact that like so control happened. You got to go back to the control verse, right? Everybody talking control. Like what Kendrick actually was saying in that verse was, "These are the people I respect." So the diss was actually to people he didn't name.
Definitely.
Like if he named you, he was saying, "Yo, you the people that I'm trying to knock off. You the people that I see are on my level or near my level, and I'm trying to knock y'all off. The rest of y'all, I don't think you're on my level."
Louis.
That's why Joe Budden got upset about it and dropped the verse. He's like,
Yeah,
"Dog, he didn't even mention me." Like
yeah,
that's
definitely.
the diss. But Drake took that and then was like, he made a point of it to talk about it like over and over. He's like, "Oh, well, Kendrick, he's good at creating moments, but he doesn't create good music that lasts the test of time." And that he started doing stuff like that in
Yeah, he
interviews.
did.
And that's
I remember
and it was
Andrew
like, all right,
Martinez.
dude,
Who did that?
Drake
Drake was
did.
doing that.
He did it on Andrew Martinez. He did it on Elliot Wilson, the Crown interview. So
Yeah.
they kept
Yeah.
asking him like, "So what do y'all think? Is there smoke there?" He like, "Nah, I don't think it's really smoke." But like, he just feel like Kendrick keep on trying to create these moments. He like, "I'm just focused on the music." I think he just was confused too because when he see him, it's all daps and hugs. But it's not like you really got the energy like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't feel like that Kendrick really got a problem with cuz. I think it's
I
becoming a
think he does
problem
now.
now.
I think he does
I
now.
think he does now. Yeah, I think the fact that you
Yeah.
name it, you just keep on. Again, Drake has been prying at him. But again,
Yeah.
Kendrick did chuck him back in his pajama clothes. And
Yep.
then he
Sure
killed him on
did.
King Kunta. Talking about
Sure did.
sharing bars. Got to
Sure
you
did.
and Joe sharing bars in the
So
2-man
that was like a
cell.
2-man sale.
Like you said,
Like a 2-man
something's in the
sale.
water. He said, I promise I wouldn't tell. He said, you sharing punks in the bed like a 2-man sale. I was like,
2-man
oh, that was
sale.
cold. When he said that, I was like, yo, that's the type of bars I like from Kendrick for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm interested in seeing. I mean, it's gonna be another shoot. So it's 2000. We got an album 2024. So we'll get another album
And they gonna shoot. I like when they
2026.
shoot subliminally. I don't like when it's like, okay, I'm distant. Like it was a moment for real, but I didn't like the fact that again, there's no rules in this joint, so I'm not gonna try it's rules. I just
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
you trying to step on Drake joint. I just didn't care for that. You like
I
I
loved
respect
it.
I respect it because
loved it.
it was a power move. I respect it,
I
but
love strategy. Yeah.
yeah, I feel you. You're right. It was a really good move, and I feel like
Yeah.
nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever like came right back.
No,
Like,
20 minutes after you drop, bro.
I remember you. I think either it was you or somebody else in putting the joint was like, "Yo, he just dropped again." I'm like, "How?"
He just dropped again. You're like, no, there's
I
no
said,
way
"No
I'm
way,
gonna drop.
he
He
dropped again."
It
I'm
was
like,
like
"What?"
it was like 12:15 at night. Bro,
Yes.
but you know what? My favorite thing about it though, and this is the part I'm gonna remember about it is I got to experience it with my son.
Wow, that's
Like
real.
me and my son was riding around like talking about these songs and like listening to them back to back to back and like comparing notes and like that to me like it was like watching watching the playoffs like watching the playoffs with my son but like real time like dog we were just talking about like everything like we both like he was already a Kendrick fan but that for him just put Kendrick over
Solidified.
the top. You can't
I
tell him
respect
nothing
that.
about Kendrick now. But like
I respect that.
that's how I'm gonna remember. I remember it like me and my son were listening to these songs over and over. I remember we were doing not like we were helping my wife do an install at we were doing my wife did an install because my wife does interior design. We were doing an install and we are at the house and we were just talking. We were listening to Meet the Grams like over and over and over again. And then I was like,
Oh,
the thing came across my phone. I said, "Oh, Dip, he just released another song." I was like, "He released another song?" So, yep. Dog, we ran to the car and just drove around the neighborhood listening to Not Like Us
that's
for like
fire.
20 minutes.
That's fire.
That's that. I experienced like a real rap beef with my son. Like that's it for me. Like
Because you only get the real feelings in the car. Like that's when you know you got the
Yep.
they call it on the bigs, but it's like if I'm not in the studio. In the car is the best way to listen. I'm not listening to a song unless I'm in the car.
Yeah.
For me,
Unless I get the full effect.
for me, the biggest moment in rap was when Gucci and Jeezy finally performed "So Icy" for the first fucking time, bro.
That was crazy.
I don't care. Yes, bro. That
was
crazy.
crazy.
Epic.
I thought someone would get shot that entire
I was
night.
at the crib going crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy. I can't hold it.
Them niggas, that song was hot, but them
shot.
niggas had never performed that shit together ever, bro.
I thought
And that shit
someone
was
was
never
shot.
gonna happen.
I thought someone was gonna die that night.
Move, boy. Right there.
You said
Yeah, I
what?
thought I get shot too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I thought someone was gonna die right there on that stage.
That's
Especially
what
when
that's what made
Gucci
it so
performed the
epic. For
Truth.
the first time, you seen two juggernauts.
That was crazy.
Like
The Truth joint was
that
wild,
versus
dog.
in the same spot. It even got out of hand for a second because remember he was
It
like
did.
pushing nigga in the dirt. I thought it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember when that was one of my favorite diss records too. The Truth. Gucci went crazy on that jump, bro. You know he's not really known as a lyrical dude, but he just was that beat. He in the back in the Maybach, like just going crazy on cover with the goals. Yeah, I'm a huge Gucci fan too. So I never liked.
I was like, somebody
You say
better die.
Gucci's not a lyrical dude.
No, I'm saying what people say. I'm just saying what people say. I'm just saying I'm not agreeing with that.
I was about to say.
I'm not agreeing with that. I'm just saying that's what people say. Sonny,
Gucci
move.
low-key be cooking. I'm not gonna say on every song he cooked, but nigga, what? Swing my dome photo shoot. That nigga was cooking, nigga.
I don't think he's a lyrical miracle. Like I ain't. He's no Lupe Fiasco.
You can't compare Gucci to Lupe Fiasco, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I just said.
But what I'm saying is like.
But what he does, he's the best to ever do it.
I'm not even gonna do that because
what he does, he's the best to ever do it.
Lupe Fiasco album, so I'm not even.
Yeah, Lupe Fiasco is a god. Lupe Fiasco is a god.
Lupe is a menace for sure.
Dog, Lupe is a god. He one of them. Like he's just like you may not rock with dude, but when talk about rapping,
who don't like Lupe?
No, I don't think. Nobody on here said they didn't. But
I'm
like,
about to say, hold on, fam.
The
You
cool
talking?
was even better.
You put
He went in, bro.
The
dog.
cool
The cool
was oh my god.
dog.
The
Dog.
cool was
That
like
was I
that,
was
bro.
in that was my army years, dog. Like Lupe Fiasco kick push, like food and liquor, the
Yeah, for liquor
cool.
too.
Like that's
Lasers.
it.
Like Lupe had a run, but all
Lasers,
the what's called the label was the one that got him
murals.
out of here though.
What you
That's
gonna
one thing I
give
never knew.
me?
Which one?
Bro, come on, bro.
The label when he signed to the label, like he was like they basically told him that he was trying to get his budget and do what the same thing Prince was trying to do, get a
Uh-huh.
recording budget, trying to they were siphoning money off his projects. And they
That's
told him like,
crazy.
yo, this is Def Jam. They told him straight up, if you don't stop trying to pry, because they audited him, we're gonna just drop you. That's exactly what they did. He never put out another project after that.
Yep.
I
Really?
see. That's sick. That's how he became a professor.
What do you release murals on? Was murals on Def Jam?
I think so. That might have been his
I
last.
think the only like kind of whack album, didn't he have an album called like Lasers or something like that?
The
Lasers was
latest
not
song was
whack. Don't
alright
do
to
that.
me.
Lasers was not
Latest
whack. Don't
was
do that.
alright. It was a
I
little
don't know.
alternative, but it was dope to me.
The thing I didn't like about Lasers is they were trying to make him into B.O.B. on Lasers, and I didn't
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It was
Exactly. That's what
more
I'm saying. It's
alternative,
like
more
it
instrumental
wasn't. It
stuff.
didn't follow the format of like Food and Liquor, the Cool. Like there was some progression
Yeah.
in it.
The show
Yeah,
goes
Lasers
on
was
was
like
on
a different direction,
Lasers.
but it wasn't really Lupe. It was like it was during the era of like all those like BOBs and shit like that. And they was
uh-huh,
they were
Yeah.
trying to
The
like
100%. That's
show
a great
goes
comparison.
on.
You know what song I
Already, the
like when Lupe was
show
like jump?
goes on already.
The Dumb It Down jump.
Dumb
Because I
it
feel like
oh
that's
down.
what
yeah,
they
yeah.
were doing in
You
music
going
anyway,
over
like trying to
niggas'
get them to
heads,
dumb it
fool?
down. Dumb it down. Dog,
Dumb it
when you dropped
down.
that jump, though, I said, man, this is what the game been missing for sure.
Dog. Hold
But
on.
I'm
Now I gotta pull
gonna
up.
holler at you. I'm gonna holler at y'all fellas, man. I got to roll.
All right, bro.
All right,
All
look,
right,
y'all.
Mike.
That's was the
All right, yo, love,
goddamn.
love.
On that note, we don't reach that 2 hour mark in this
Gotta get out of here at
goddamn
that 2 hour
hot.
mark, y'all. Too
Yeah,
late.
yeah, that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? That man, it's that been that
I fell
motherfucking Monday
asleep,
smoke
y'all.
meeting. Goddamn, y'all know I can catch the hot box every Sunday and Friday evening. Y'all can catch us again this coming Thursday for the Thursday smoke rally. You know, I have my dog, the man of motion. He is 24 pounds lighter. My dog, Mr. Bitches, representing live on the ones and twos.
You already know.
You know, our dog El Presidente San Jose representing live in the motherfucking building.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
look, we rolling the windows down, we letting the smoke out. But before we get out of here, and before I get my list off, I want to let Rez get that last stat he was about to pull up.
I'm about to tell y'all that on the Lasers album, we had All Black Everything, classic. State Run Radio, classic. Break the Chain, classic. Those are the ones I got.
That's
Go
pretty
back and listen to
Shout out.
2011 Lupe Fiasco. Just go and listen to that. One of my head featuring Trey songs, so I don't even care about. Classic song.
Shout out to Lupe Fiasco for sure.
And Words I Never Said, which is another great song. So that was mine.
Cool.
That's
So
my guy.
above all else, I just want to say fuck
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers. I
Yes,
want to say fuck
sir.
Rudy Gobert, and I also want to say
Yes,
fuck Kevin Durant.
sir. Yes, sir.
That being said, fellas, we rolling the windows down, man. We letting the smoke out. Smoke with us next time.